You heard me?
Man, what's good? What's good, everybody? What's happening? What's going on?
What's happening? Peace, peace.
What up? What's up? What's up, man? I
Sorry
know,
about
bro.
that man, earlier.
You know, you good? You good, man? It's been a long time coming. I know we've been talking about we was gonna do a collab, bro, and it's
Yeah.
a long time overdue, man. Let me see who I got in the building, man. We got Soul. What's happening? Indigenous Enigma. I see you. Black Conservative Tethered. Yeah, Charlie got hurt. That's crazy. Laughing Dog. What's up? What's up, man? Smarty Pants. Iridium Kush. What up? What up? Let's see. Shadows. My Clue. Cynical. What's going on? Black Savant. Iota, what's happening? Spawn, I see you. AZ Tech, man. Salute everybody. What's up, Dion? What's up? Sigma, what's good, bro? What's good, man? Oh man. So you doing all right today, man? It's nice out here. I'm sitting outside today. You know what I'm saying? Out back, it's like 75 degrees. Got the wind blowing. Everything cool. Nice little Saturday. Ain't too bad, bro. How's it going? How's it looking on your end, man?
Man, it's 86 out here in Vegas, man. It's kind of cool, and I've been working nights, so it gets a little chilly because the wind starts coming through, at nighttime. So
Yeah.
that's a cool little shot right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So we've been chopping it up a lot lately, man, and it's good to get your perspective on things, man, because I think according in relation to the subject, bro, like hey, y'all let me know in the chat if the music is too loud or if we good,
Yeah,
man.
turn it down a
Everybody
little bit.
sounds good.
Turn it
Everybody
down a
sounds
little bit.
good. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. How's that?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
They say yeah, it's too loud. All right, there we go. That should sound better.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
good now. It's good. Yeah.
There we go. There we go. But yeah, man. So the subject today, we're gonna start it off with why the majority is always wrong. And the reason why I've been sitting on this topic for quite some time, because oftentimes I hear a lot in these discussions um, as like an intellectual argument that most the most people don't do this, most people don't do that. And I think on its face, it may sound smart on its face, but when you actually dig into it, it kind of falls flat on its face. Oftentimes, people kind of use that to shortcut. Hold on for a second. People use that to kind of shortcut, like actual intellectual discussion, and a lot of times it has very little bearing on reality, because you're not really specifying. For one, you're not specifying like who the majority is. You know what I'm saying? Because you could base your majority off of like YouTube. You could base your majority off of you basically your majority off of just your surroundings, your own anecdotal experience. um and I just see it often misapplied because you're not actually talking about everybody. New, what you think about that, bro?
Well, I know people hate to speak in general, man. Most of the time when I speak, I'm speaking in general, unless you want me to give a personal, experience of mine. Like I can go back and forth with it, and yeah, I do hear it like that. I think a lot of people come from, depending on who you're talking to, man. I think a lot of people come from like an echo chamber style of argument,
Right.
or they try to bust out some stats and all that type of stuff. And I'm mostly like, man, I haven't been around for a long time, man. I mean, not just like YouTube or whatever, but like in real life. So like, me being a tradesman and shit, man, I'm talking to like all generations. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like, that's not what I see. It may be a few here, a few there, but if you're not really moving around, if you stuck on the same 6 blocks from where you was born, you ain't really moving around. It's really not like that, man.
Right. Yeah, man. Well, let me ask you this: why do you think people find it convenient to discredit the minority?
Because society is the majority. Like people who would think like maybe you or I would probably be like a minority, man, of people. So our voice, we're either weirdos or somehow like we don't like we're stuck in our own bubble. But I think that I think we're seeing more than a lot of I think we're seeing more of the majority, man, more than the majority. To be honest with you. So that's what I think.
Yeah, man. And I think it's interesting too, because what was the majority today, if you go back, at one point it was the minority. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that the minority necessarily needs to be discredited because 5 to 10 years from now that minority could end up becoming the majority. And by the time, it's almost like when you get into a stock early, you know what I mean? Like by the time the stock has the attention of the majority, you probably got in too late. You probably already missed the wave. And it's the people that are in the minority that actually push it to the point where the majority actually gets in on it later. I mean, you take like your bitcoins, or even like certain ideas that held slavery. At one point slavery was normal, and it took a minority to actually build that up to the point where it became the I guess the mouthpiece of the majority, if that makes sense.
No, yeah,
um
that makes sense.
you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that the minority equals, I don't think that that means that they're irrelevant. um and quite frankly, like, a lot of times the majority be wrong, man. Like, we got to keep it real, bro. Like, the majority will ride on any wave that is popular. And just because something is popular doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's right or wrong. It just is the majority or the minority. I mean, what I'm saying? The majority of women think, killing their babies is cool. But you know what I'm saying? Five to
Well,
10 years from now, it could be a different story.
well, you have to look at it like I said. It's going to go back to societal, traditional stuff, right? Like you've been taught this for generations, so your programming is there from what you've been taught. And I'm not discounting people's experiences with that traditional thought process. Like
Uh-huh.
common sense. People, oh, that's common sense. It's not really common sense because it's not common. It
Right.
may be like inherent in some people, to do certain things, but common sense has to be taught, and then it becomes common. But it's not really common sense,
Mm-hmm.
or what that, you could say, well, that makes sense, like, crossing the street without hitting the button or whatever, to actually stop the cars across the street. But some people will still jaywalk. But common sense doesn't tell people not to jaywalk. You get taught not to jaywalk. Hey, there's a big fucking button right here. Hit that. So the red light can come on for the opposite side of traffic or whatever.
Right,
But
right,
it's not like everything of the majority is wrong, but they go with the societal shit. So
right.
to the minority, it may seem contrarian or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm not. Well, my views aren't like yours, so that can seem wrong. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be a contrarian. I'm just I have a different thought process.
Right, right, right. And that's where shit often goes left, right? Because you think that your experience is not only the only experience, but the right experience. And it's like, no, bro, like, people all around the world have all different types of experiences. And even if they had the same experiences, it is possible for two people to look at one thing and come to a completely different conclusion based off the same information. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and you could pull up data, pull up stats, we could do all of that. And we could look at the same information and come to a completely different conclusion based on that information.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And it's in those types of discussions, these types of discussions where you can actually break through I know people don't like nuance and stuff like that, but there is a place for nuance, especially if
true.
you want to understand where people are coming from. Now, I don't think you should live in the nuances, because you can also get lost in that. But you kind of have to bounce between the majority and the minority. So um, what you think about that, bro?
No, that's true. Like people gonna use stats and
It's a nuances,
You
man.
know, sometimes nuance is gay.
Yeah, it's gay. It's kind of gay. Yeah, yeah,
Kind
yeah,
of gay, bro. But
yeah.
like people like to bust out stats and everything like that, and it's like, yo, numbers don't lie, people do. So people could skew stats in the way that they want things to go into the majority, right? But like my eyes have always been my stats, man. That's why I don't really like debate or start or come up with topics or live my life by stats, because if that was the case, I probably wouldn't be driving or flying or being an electrician or stuff like that. So I think that
Right,
like I said, they use stats to try to bring out a certain point, but what about everything else?
right. I often, the majority, the minority argument, especially in the space, especially in these conversations, I'm at the point now where I truly believe that they use the majority to actually avoid a solution. It just seems like, because it's like, how many times have you seen people present a well thought out solution, and when that solution is presented, it makes sense, everybody agrees, but somebody will say, hey, that sounds good, but the majority of people ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? The majority of people ain't gonna, and it's just like who cares if the majority of people ain't gonna do that? You don't really need like the majority of people to do it. You just need enough
Right.
people to do it.
You need enough. Like why even bring up the stats if you go say that majority of people ain't gonna do it?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So and then the biggest thing that I notice is that I notice a lot of people, most of what the majority does is reactive, right? And because of that, they're reacting off of the minority. That's why everybody's talking about the 1%. That's why everybody's talking about the elite. That's why everybody's talking about they're literally talking about minorities. Their responses, their movements are based off of what a minority of people are doing. They're just a powerful minority. And so like in certain contexts, I think, because I hear a lot of people say, strength in numbers. Sometimes it's true, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes if you just have a cohesive minority, they're much more powerful than a majority that's not united. So I just think that the minority gets a bad rep, because people want to pick and choose narratives.
Yeah. You know what strength in numbers mean?
Do
It
I know?
means
Yeah.
sin. SIN, strength in numbers.
Uh-oh. break that down, man. Break that down, man.
I mean, look, man, the majority of people is wrong.
Yeah.
A majority of people could tell a big ass lie. That's why you have the minority going the opposite way. And then we're supposed to be wrong, or the minority of people are supposed to be wrong.
Uh-huh.
I mean, look, man, it's like I was saying, dog. People say, history repeating itself and all that bullshit, but really, history is going to repeat itself whether you know it or not, or whether you like it or not.
Right.
It repeats itself every day. I mean, you get up every day until you don't. You have babies. There's life and death. That's history repeating itself. So traditional things get taught and get passed down for generations upon generations, and that's history, right? Are you gonna tell me that the shit that's going on right now wasn't history, and people knew the history, and it's still going?
Right. Yeah.
So,
I mean,
You know.
yeah, we've seen this all throughout history. I mean, the same problems that we're seeing now. You can go back to ancient Greece. You can go back to ancient Rome. You're gonna see those same problems. Um,
Oh, fucking hello, man. My union brothers in the chat, D Shep. That's my union brother, man. That's my local
okay.
buddy.
Hey, salute to you, bro. Salute to you. We got Lord ADS in the building too. What's up, DJ Witch Doctor? I see you.
Who's Lord ADS?
He be around. He's a panel guy. He be around panels and stuff. He's pretty decent guy, solid guy.
Okay.
Be in these discussions and stuff. He under a little heat right now, but hopefully he get through it, putting his foot in his mouth and shit. But that happens in these YouTube streets. It happens.
All right.
Iota says it's linear, but to each individual it's cyclical. Yeah, man. I like that. What up, Joey?
Or cynical.
Or cynical, or you could be the cynical one.
Yeah, I love that fucking. I don't know. I can't. I'm probably paraphrasing it. That whole George Carlin, whatchamacallit, when he said that, he said something to the effect of, what did he say? If you scratch an optimist, something about being cynical, like under an optimist is a disgruntled. Under a cynical person is a disgruntled optimist or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that. And
Man, I fucking love that. I love that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Nah, that's absolute facts. That's absolute facts, man. You know what I'm saying? So I've been wanting to do the stream because I just think that the minority gets discredited. And another thing too is that what never gets discussed is why the minority is in the majority, why they're even there to begin with. It's because it's usually not by happenstance. It's usually not by, like, even if let's put the elite to the side, because I do believe some of that is orchestrated, right? You're born into it. You're born into what you're born into, and then you come up from there. But let's move them to the side. We talked about this. We were chopping it up about this the other day. Talk about money, right?
Mm-hmm.
People complaining about how there's not enough money and they don't have enough money to do what they got to do. But if you ask a person, listen, in your lifetime, how much money has actually passed through your hands? And I've asked people that question, and some people say, $250,000. I've even heard $500,000. Some people, I can honestly say $1 million has passed through my hands. I know I can.
You know what? I can probably say the same thing, man. Like my boy D Shep, right? We'd be on these big ass jobs. Like when I was in San Diego, I was going live a couple times, right? And showing people like some of the work and everything. Go Professor made a video of me working on some at a battery plant, right? I went to San Diego. I took a 6-week call. I made 22 G's in 6 months. So and then I think about all the other jobs I've been on, longer periods, and worked a shit ton of overtime. And I've been working since I was 14. Started in California. I've been working since then. I know I've touched $1 million. Where is it at? Where is it at? And bruh, I had foreman out at this battery job where D Shep was at. I mean, this motherfucker was making $9,000 a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I know, bro, we touched $1 million, man. But me personally, this is me personally. I don't have shit to show for it in the fact of material goods because to a certain degree, I'm a minimalist, right?
Right.
So I have the regular shit that people have, except for, maybe like investments or whatever like that, because I see it, speaking from my minority, it's kind of a scam.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't really go in that manner. I don't really go, where everybody else is going. So
right.
I just look at it, like I said, I look at it as people are sheep, man. And A lot of people are fucking sheep, bro. The wool has been pulled over their eyes. Well, I
Yeah.
pull that shit off my eyes, and some people will pull it back over their eyes when the shit is revealed.
Right.
You know, and I think that's a damn shame. I think that, you know, I think people are afraid of freedom. You know,
Yep.
because free, like I said, free comes with a dick in your ass, man. You know what I'm saying? You get you get fucked in life, bro. So, you know, how do
When
you
you want the free, yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like how do you want it? You know what I'm saying? You want that shit sandwich, you
Uh-huh.
know?
Yeah.
And I don't like soup sandwiches, man. Don't feed me a soup sandwich. So I just won't, you know, take the bullshit. I might look at you funny. I might I might look around and be like, yo, this ain't right. And then, you know, you speak out about it, and then that shit is gonna trickle down to everybody else. And that might get to the majority of people. Then they start thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how that's how the minority actually stays in power. And by the time you get it, you getting crumbs. What's interesting about it is if you go back in time, especially in our time, bro, especially in our time, you realize that like there were plenty of opportunities. Think about all the booms, think about all the crashes that we've had in our country that you could have took advantage of, but for whatever reason you didn't. And that minority of people that did, you know, where they at now? And so it's like people don't people like to discredit the minority because they don't want to factor in the personal responsibility that that minority took in order to get to where they are in any realm. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to just be money. It could just, you know, relationships. It could be all that stuff. There's something that the minority, like when I hear a minority of people in a winning position and the majority of people are losing, whatever context that is, my first question is, okay, well, what is that winning minority doing that the majority aren't doing? And I dig into that, and that's how I got to where I am today. You know,
Right.
I'm doing pretty well. I ain't no elite, any of that stuff. I'm a regular guy. I got I like to live a regular life and just have money to dispose of to do what I do as I please, and I can do that now. But it never would have happened if I had just went with what the majority of people were doing and actually paid attention to what the minority are doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't just write them off. You got to ask, okay, why is this small group? Why is less than 51%? Why is 49%? If they're in a winning position, why are they there? What are they doing? You know what I'm saying? So, and I just think people don't. It's to the freedom thing. It's like it's up to an outside entity or somebody on the outside that's supposed to slide the scale for them, and that's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. You know, and if it does happen, they may give you crumbs. They'll give you some crumbs. You know what I'm saying? But it's never going to be
Yeah.
enough.
I mean, you can only control what's in your circle of control, man.
That's it.
You know, everything after that, man, is like you know about you know the saying like living, like we'll say in our trade, like living the dream, right?
Uh-huh.
But really, man, that dream is kind of fucked up. You know, I love my trade. I love going to work, so it makes it, you know, not work. But my dream still is getting up every day with the hustle and bustle of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm going to do something I love to do, you know, for the past what fucking 15 years. Um, it's still it's a dream. Yes, I'm making money. I'm doing what I love to do, but still, man, like it hurts after a while. You know, when you get older and
Right.
shit like that, it just, you know, gets down on your body, being on your knees, going up and down ladders, getting in and out of scissor lifts, doing, you know, crawling through ceilings, whatever you got to do, man. But it's the fact that if I could probably go live in the mountains somewhere and not have to deal with, and still, let's say I was still able to get the money that I'm making now without even working like this. You know what I'm saying? That's a freedom that I could do, but I choose not to. I choose to do it this way. But in that freedom that I have getting up with the hustle and bustle, with my union ticket, I can go to different locals, different states, and that's what I love to do. I don't just stay in Vegas and work,
Right.
So, some people don't even have that fucking freedom, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah. No, they don't. But you worked hard for that freedom. You know what I'm saying? And there may be, I do believe there's a little bit of luck to it. There's always a little bit of luck to it, but a lot of it is effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put in the work, as did I. Plenty sleepless nights, bro. When everybody wanted to make a decision, hey, we're gonna go out, we're gonna fuck on hoes, we're gonna club, and we're gonna do all this shit. Nah, I got something I gotta work on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There will be a time for that, but for right now, I need to grind.
Yeah, that's why. What was that, last year? I think a couple years ago when me and Shango did that live, and I titled it "Are We Lying to Ourselves?" I think a lot of people, minority included, they do lie to themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, even me, like, shit, that's my lie, but I love it.
Right.
It's not just a job; it's a career. When I was in the Navy, it wasn't a job; it was a career. When I was a lineman, what I'm saying, it wasn't just a job; it was a career. And some people love being a Walmart greeter. I mean, it is what it is, but it's up to that individual. And I think that people, when they look at, or when they hear people speaking on an individual basis, it goes back to that. Well, that's not what the majority is doing, but that is what the majority is doing in that case. It's just your experience. You've been taught certain things, so you don't know how to recondition or reprogram, your thoughts in that. And that can be scary to some people.
Right. No, that's a fact. Let me ask you this, and I'm just throwing this out there. Is there ever any practical utility in lying to yourself?
Is there ever, say that again?
Is there ever any practical utility in lying to yourself?
I mean, it can be.
Okay.
Let me bring up a point that Absalom or APTV just made, right? Stepdaddy thing. I think people lie to themselves when they're stepdaddies.
Uh-oh.
I think that's one. That's a practical utility because you are a utility in that sense, right? And then you try to pull bullshit out of the hat,
Right.
to reason to yourself, rationalize your thoughts of why you're there. I think that's a practical utility.
Okay.
Why do certain people get married for this and married for that? The stats on that type of shit. I'm like, yeah, I don't see it that way. But hey, do you?
Right. No, I can see it. I can see small instances where it is practical. Let's say you're about to do something big, and there's a lot of pressure on you. You need to regulate your emotions. I remember one time I was given like as a matter of fact, like a month ago, I had to give a presentation to a large group of executives, and I was nervous, bro. I'm telling you, I went through my shit and all that shit, but I was nervous, and I had to. I don't know if it's the same thing, but I had to tell myself, like, yo, you got this. You could do this. You could, because I really felt like I could. I was like, bro, I'm finna bomb, bro. I felt like I had that feeling, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
having to talk yourself through it, things like that. Um, you know, when you're in a time because let's say you have a goal that you want to accomplish, and you hit like this hard point where you just feel like you can't do it, and you gotta I don't know if that's necessarily lying to yourself, but you gotta cope to get through certain periods, because you do have highs and lows, and sometimes you do have to cope through those lows, and it shouldn't be like a long-term thing, but little short moments of telling yourself certain things in order for yourself to get in order for you to get through. I would think that's kind of it's kind of in that area because you're coping.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm
But
saying?
but
So
but I mean, unless I have the wrong definition or idea of cope, I mean, in life, everybody copes, man. Because coping is just how you deal with the situation, but there's negatives and positives of how you deal with that.
uh-huh.
Like you think you're gonna bomb on giving a presentation or something like that, but you're gonna say, I gotta do this, and it turned out to be great when you thought you weren't. It'd be a
Mm.
plethora of things, man.
Yeah, man. Skinner says, is marriage really what it seems? It depends on who you are, man. Like I know marriages that
What
are
about the
like,
stats?
you see what I'm saying? Like I know marriages that are in turmoil, but I know marriages where people are just they cooling, bro. They chilling. They wake up, they spend time with their kids, they take their kids to school, they go to work, they come home. On the weekend, they have a great time. Like I know good marriages. Um it just is what it is.
I mean, look, it's like I said. I do know good marriages, right? But I don't know
Hmm.
everything that's behind those doors either. Like my pops, before he passed away, he was married for like 25 years. He was married before I went to the Navy.
Right.
But he told me he told me, how you go through that stage, and then after, like, I guess the fifth year or whatever, because my pops was like a very honorary man, and he tried to get out of it, but his wife
Right.
was like, no, we gonna stay and do this. And he stayed and did it, and they fought through it, and boom boom, you got 20 some odd years of being married. But I
Right.
also know guys who do that, and they'll use the excuse, well, she put up with my shit for a long time, but
Right.
she never forgot the shit. And in certain ways, it gets brought up. So you spend the rest of your fucking life compromising and kowtowing to that because of that. Because she
Right.
never truly forgave you. You
Right.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, or I know couples, man, like one of my exes, her parents were together since they were like 20, 21,
Hmm.
and he hated her.
Right.
He hated his wife. And I could see why, because I used to go, toe to toe with her. I wasn't the type of motherfucker that was gonna sit there and let her talk shit, about my hair or about this or about that. And it was like, at one point in time, I'm like, yo, are you jealous of my fucking hair?
Uh-oh.
Like you, you're balding, or I kicked her out of my crib one time. Don't
Hmm.
fucking come over my house like this. Well, you would never talk to me in front of my husband. I said, I damn sure would, because he's a man too, and he understands where I'm coming from. Like, I don't play it.
Hmm.
I don't come to your house talking shit about your furniture or about the way you cook or the things that the food that you have in your house. So don't come do it in mine. It's not your
Right.
house. This is your daughter. You know what I'm saying? But this is not your house.
Correct.
Hey, won't the majority hit the fucking like button?
Yeah, man. Hit that like, man. Hit that like. You know. Yeah, bro. And it's just, it isn't always good. There's definitely highs and lows. Like even in my marriage, there's highs and lows. Like that idea that we just gonna wake up, we just gonna love each other every single day, we gonna like each other every single day. That's just not. It's just not realistic. It's just not. And I understand why a lot of married guys try to paint it that way, because if they told the reality of it, most people wouldn't get married, which I'm actually okay with. Like, marriage ain't for everybody. And as a married person, the last thing that I'm gonna do is convince somebody that they should get married. I'm not with that shit. You know what I mean? Like, me personally, because it's an individual choice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is too, a lot of people will put shit on somebody else to make the decision for them, so that when it blows up in their face, it's your fault. So
You get a lot of that.
if I tell you, New, that hey bro, you should get married, man. We need to build these communities. We need to build this world, the black community. The world would be better if you got married. And then you do get married, and then the shit go left. Somehow that's my fault. You see what
Yeah, because you put yourself in that situation.
You see what I'm
You
saying?
really did. It's like somebody asking you for a ride. You know, you putting yourself in a situation. If you late, they late. Now they can blame you.
Now they can blame me. It's like, nah,
You know what I'm
I'd rather
saying?
just not be. Yeah, I'd rather not.
Or some people already had an idea of what they wanted to do, but they asked another person to see what they say. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. You
Right,
know,
right.
or if they don't agree with it, then you start arguing with it. It's like, bro, you already gonna do what the fuck you was gonna do. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
I can't make
yeah,
the
man.
decision for you.
Yeah, and that's why the majority thing is interesting, because most people are actually, like, most people are waiting to be told what to do. Yes, they want to be told what to do.
That's what I was
Even
talking about, the freedom, bro. Like, people are
yeah, bro.
scared to be free. Hey,
Yeah,
it takes a
bro.
lot to be free, man. It's hard.
It's hard. Yeah.
You know, like I said, dangling that carrot, man. You know,
Yeah. Because to be
promises.
free, you have to go against the herd mentality. And then to dominate, you have to actually anticipate the herd mentality.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, for example, like when the iPhone was made, that was like, that shit wasn't around at that time. There was nothing like it when it came out. But somebody made it and got it, and it was something that people had to get ahead. Like, they got ahead of it. You know what I mean? And now every other household got an iPhone. I just think, yeah, like, most people want to be told by other people that it's okay to do what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like a burden. It takes the weight off of you and shit.
Yeah.
You know, like, I used to be what's called a Luddite, man. Like, I wasn't really with a lot of the technology and shit. And, I was forced to do a lot of things. Like, look, I used to work long hours, right? And when I had the weekends off, I would get my bills together, go actually get money orders, and then go put them, like, in the Nevada Power had a drop off. Our power company out here, they had a drop off where I would go drop off my money order to pay my bill. I would go to Cox Cable, and go pay my bill. I would go to Southwest Gas and then go pay my bill. I used to do that shit. And then they started saying, well, you could do it online. I was like, nah, I'd rather just do it like this, so I know you got it. You know what I'm saying? And then I eventually, like, had to get a damn smartphone. My first smartphone was the Samsung Rent.
Mm.
You know, and then the
Mm-hmm.
Samsung Vibrant before the Galaxy shit came out, and then you know some shit happened, and I eventually got an iPhone. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But it's like people will pressure me into getting an iPhone. People pressure me into getting an Android. It's like, look, my nigga, I'm gonna do what the fuck. It's my money, man. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Nah, I get it, bro. Yeah, I get it, man. So, I mean, sometimes it can be limiting. Like, bro, if you've ever been in a store and you've had the pleasure of being behind that one person, that old ass person, still writing checks,
Yeah,
still writing checks, and you just
bruh.
sit there like,
Hold on. Watch this. You know the saying, "Cash is king," right?
uh huh.
Is it still king?
I would say at this point, right now, it is.
Okay. Remember the commercials? How they made like everybody with the music? They were flipping through cash registers, coming through with their debit card, just hitting it, and then they're out of there, right?
Uh huh.
And then here's me. You have the pleasure of being behind me, paying with cash and pulling out coins and shit, right? And
Right.
then when you really look at it, though, if you get behind a bunch of people with a debit card, how much faster is it to do that?
Yeah,
It
bro.
wasn't. It wasn't very fast because once again, you have a machine that's trying to do the work for you. It has to go
Mm-hmm.
through its data for the transaction. And then on the other hand, if you're paying with cash, you have that person who may not be fast at math and counting back your change. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be impressed by people who would count your change backwards, right? Even
Yeah.
me being a cashier when I was younger, I couldn't do that shit for nothing, man. I couldn't
Yeah.
do it. Or I would fuck with people and say like the change is this and that, and then you give them after they close the register, I have a nickel, and they're studying in their head try to count like damn, like how do I do this? Or I give you a penny, like how do I do this? Just I used to fuck with people a lot when I used to do that, but
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
purpose, just to see where their head was. If you got to bring out a calculator, I mean it is what it is, but
Uh huh.
I know some people who be like, yo, I don't know how to give it back to you. And I was like, okay,
Mm.
but the debit card wasn't much faster. And then you look at shit now, they got what are they called, skimmers and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You got all that type of stuff. So it's kind of like the decision to be faster versus giving out cash. Like for a long time, man, I was going to these places, man, that they only would give you direct deposit, and I'm like, man, I haven't had cash in my back pocket for a long time. So
Right.
I had to go to the ATM and pull out like $50 just so I could have some cash on me just in case something happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Everything is a trade. Yeah, bro.
Everything
Everything
is
is
a
a
Kirk off.
trade off.
Everything is a Kirk off.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Hey, man. Yeah, hey, bro. I've seen it too, man. I've seen it. They get that pin wrong. All of a sudden, they locked up, and they got to sit on the side. They got to call their bank. You gotta call.
Yeah, yeah. Like the first time I went to Utah, look, the first time I went to Utah back in 21, I had no cash on me, but I didn't call Navy Federal and let them know that I was traveling.
Uh huh.
So me and my boy, we at the bar and shit, and my car got cut off,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have the $60 on me. But because my car got cut
Mm.
off, I couldn't even go to the ATM. So a dude in there was like, "Yo, I got you, man. Y'all are so cool. This, that, and the third." And they told him my bill, the total. He was like, $60. Is that it? And he was about to pay for it. But at the same time, I was on the phone with Navy Federal, and I told him what was going on. Then they unlocked my card, so I was able to pay
Right.
for it. So little shit like that, man. Yes, Navy
Bro, I've been
Federal.
caught up in that shit. So yeah, man. Navy Federal cut that shit off.
Navy, hey,
You
Navy Federal was the
next day,
bomb.
like, bro, they'll cut that shit off. When I was on the was when I went on a cruise earlier this year, and they did that shit to me. Like, it's just like, bruh. Luckily, I had cash on me, but it was yeah, yeah. So it does yeah. Got to keep the petty cash.
That old good saying, rainy day.
Yes, sir. That shoebox
Yeah.
money, so to
Yep.
speak. Yeah, man. Dick Thug says, I think most people will take BS from their family or friends more than their spouse. If you make an excuse to opt out of a marriage, but constantly help a sibling that uses you, that's as bad. Yeah. What you think of that, New?
Hmm? Oh, you said what I think about that? Hold on, let me read it. Their spouse. I can see that. That's the reason why a lot of people they separate from their spouse or whatever, because you always got um outside ears and outside eyes. You know, people are always looking in. Tell the motherfucker, man, I think you should do this and do that. Like honestly, man, I stay out of I okay, look, the majority of my friends are married, right? Or they have a significant other and they have kids, right? But who do they always fucking come to when they got problems? They always come to me. They need to. It's like they need to hear my damn voice, dog. They need to hear my voice because they know deep down when I told them don't get married, motherfucker, you should have got married. But
Right.
I told it to my homeboy Pat, man. Look, Beta Male Police in his house. Um, they like my boy Pat, man. He's been married for like 20 years now, right? And I told
Uh-huh.
him in the beginning, I was like, "Yo, don't get married, dog. Don't do it." 3 years later, he come to the crib, man, with some 40s, with his woes, dude, man. You know, shit, man. She being like this, man. I'm like, "Yo, get rid of her." The first thing I said, get rid of her. So y'all ain't got no kids, y'all ain't got nothing together yet. Y'all just living together. Get rid of her. But you know, he's black and Hawaiian, so you know the Hawaiians they believe in Ohana, you know, the family and shit, and you know they made it work. Now he wasn't no simp.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't no henpeck motherfucker either. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So he did, you know, do a lot of things, but you know, he was one of the dudes that I would tell you about as a grown man who had never lived by himself. You know what I'm saying? As an adult man,
Uh-huh.
and I've known him since '99. You know what I'm saying? So I have never, you know, and we lived together. You know, I was there for all his children's birth, and I'm always the uncle and all that type of shit. But I told him, get rid of her. Now it's good for him that he didn't follow my advice because
Uh-huh.
I don't even know what the motherfucker would have been doing now. You know, he probably would have got another girl 3 months after that, lived with her. Like he was a
The
quick
repeating
dude.
cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's the history though, repeating itself once again.
Yes,
But
sir.
it's like, you know, I've told people, man, don't get married, don't do this, don't do that. Like if it like there's a generally like 3 or 4 reasons, man, why dudes get married, and you know what you so-called work out is actually you compromising
Right.
for the rest of that time.
Yeah. I shit, I've told people don't get married. Um I've told I've told a couple people to get married, mainly because, well, a couple of reasons. Number one, they were really determined to do so no matter what I said. Like, so it's like it was almost on some like, why did you even ask me type shit? Because you
Yeah,
like we know we know you're gonna do it. Me and you both know you're gonna do it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, do your thing. Just protect your assets. Get that irrevocable trust, prenup, do all that shit. If she ain't with it, then tell her, kick rocks. And it worked out for him. She signed the paperwork, all that shit, and he put his shit in the trust and all that. And the ones that I've said yes to, I think only one of them ended up splitting up. The rest of them is chilling. They got kids, they got family, and all that stuff. But there have been several people where I'm just like, yo, you marry this bitch, your life is going to be over, gang.
Hey,
You're not
the
ready, bro.
old ball and chain for real, for real.
Yeah, man.
But I know people who need it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah.
You know, like military style and shit. You know, they need to be told what to do. You know, and that's how their marriage works. And it's like, bro, what are you doing, man? Like, what kind of man are you? But hey, I'm not gonna say anything. You just gonna have to live with it.
Yep.
And I
Yeah,
am
man.
the told you so guy, to be honest with you. I'm the told you so
I am
guy.
too.
I
I
will
hey.
do it. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, well, you know, no, motherfucker, I told you.
Yeah.
Like when people
You
call
know.
me, we can have a conversation and we could chop it up, bebop and bullshit. But on the real, when you call me about something, I'm thinking you're asking for my advice. I'm not just gonna listen and agree with you. Yeah, man, you know everything will be all right because I don't believe that. I don't believe everything's gonna be all right. I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better
Uh
through a lot of situations. So I'd rather just give it to you straight. To be honest, I can't. I'm not the type of friend.
huh.
You know, I'm not.
Have you
If I'm your friend, I'm gonna tell you you fucked up.
right? Have you ever given it to somebody straight? Have you ever told somebody the straight honest truth and they still did what they wanted to, but they used what you told them to actually better the situation and it worked out?
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. I got a friend that when I went to Albuquerque back in 2018, 2019, you know, I said, yo, I'm coming to pick you up. Either you're rolling or you're not. But he's on the other side of town. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, he's on the north side of town. So, you know, we're good friends, man. We went through the apprenticeship together. He was a year ahead of me or whatever. And he would say, you know, you saved my life. I'm
Right.
like, nah, I didn't save your life, dog. You came with me. You either were or you weren't gonna do it. And the fact that you did it, you know what I'm saying? Let's go make some money, you know, whatever. We'd be out there for a few months and you did it.
Uh
But,
huh.
you know, whatever your reason that you had to not do it, you know, was mind boggling to me. But, you know, I told him the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't save your life. You did it because you really had to. But it for some reason it seemed like it took me, you know, to kind of influence you to do it a little bit. And hey, man, if that's what you want to use, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Your only obligation is to speak the truth to them. Whatever they do with that truth is on them. And you know, I've had people disregard my truth and it blew up in their face. I've had people take my advice, it worked out for them. I've even had people take my advice and it didn't work out for them. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, at the
I
end of the
mean,
day,
look, man, I'm a victim of that shit too, bro. I've done it
yeah,
before.
man. Yeah. And that's why, like, I actually learned from those experiences, like, yo, don't just freely give people advice. Because at the end of the day, you still got to make the choice.
Yeah,
Regardless of what I say, you have to make the choice. And whatever choice you make, you have to live with. But
that's what it ultimately comes down to.
yeah, I've fell out with friends because they came to me for advice and I gave them advice and it didn't work out for them. And they put it on me. They put it on me.
Hey, but Pete,
Why you tell me to do that shit? Like, bro, what?
what do they always say? The game is to be sold and not told,
Mm,
right? You're automatically, for me, when I hear that, you're a chiseler. I don't charge for a lot of things. I'm not gonna charge you for that because I typically, like, if we're cool together, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you my perspective, but like I said, the choice is always yours, right? Like the whole Neo Morpheus type shit. I'm giving you a choice, and this is what you took. But really, you know, you already seen it. So if I charge you for advice, you know, like little shit like that, you know, you owe me type shit. Let's put it that way. It doesn't have to be money, but
right.
you can't say, well, you sold me something bad. I didn't sell you shit. This is all free. You still
Right.
have to make the choice, motherfucker. Don't blame me.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
We
man.
could be going through the same problems, dog. And I can tell you, I went through this, but I'm not you and you're not me.
Right. Nah, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. That is a fact. He said a lot of dudes be scared to step out of their own. Yeah, bro. A lot of dudes be scared, man. Just scary. Just like it's just interesting, like the rationale that people come up with to be scary. Like even sometimes if it comes off intelligent, it's like, bro, at the end of the day, you still kind of being scary. Even if it makes sense in your head, you still scared to pull the trigger.
It's that freedom, man.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, because you can rationalize unfreedom. Absolutely. It's
Oh,
rationalized all the time.
yeah. Hey, I had put up a video, man, of an old Barbarossa video, you know, and the title just says it all.
Mm.
The title says it all. And I made a like the thumbnail. I don't know if anybody got the thumbnail or whatever, but if you really listen to it, man, it speaks on, how men are, for the most part throughout their life. Um, what was the title? Justifying their exploitation.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I mean, Barbarossa used to hit on some real shit, so I got to keep that going because that was how we were talking way back when, like true MGTOW shit. But even without like me saying MGTOW or using pills or whatever, it's still all going to coincide because we know about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've always been like this, man, and I can't change the fact that this is just the way that I am. Whether you think it's good or bad, I just know people. I know humans, and I've been around a
Right.
lot of them. So sometimes you just gotta let them do what they gotta do.
Yeah.
And then they'll see. I mean, hey man, look. If it works out, it works out. If it don't, it don't. But then you have to learn from that mistake.
Right. Right. Now let me ask you this: for many people, and I guess this would depend on the person. Is MGTOW slow? Is MGTOW for a person solely like a long term thing, or is it can go either way? It can be, you can have your whole life MGTOW. You can go through a period of MGTOW. Like how does that typically work?
Well, I think if you break it down and understand where it came from, um, why it even exists, and to be honest, there's many examples of it out there. People just know it off of YouTube with the name, but it is a life choice, not a lifestyle, right? With the very first two tenets being no marriage, no cohabitation, right?
Uh huh.
And then people start adding shit on, and examples of those are people who are bachelors,
Right.
right? Like I never wanted that shit, so this is what I chose to do. It's a choice that I've made. Now people may add on to certain things, but the whole thing is there's no the only rule to being what's called MGTOW, especially around YouTube, is that like no marriage, no cohabitation, but
Mm-hmm.
you still get chicks, you still do this, you still do that. Like you don't. It's about not validating yourself through a female. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So once you start hitting all those other things, like people say, "Oh, I'm monk." Nah, nigga, you just validated yourself through a female by saying you're even monk. So I don't even believe in all that monk shit. But MGTOW in his perspective, man, is not validating yourself through females and living your life the way you want to live it.
Got right. Right.
It's literally it came from what was called Men on Strike, Then it was called men going their own way when we broke away from MRA, and then it just got down to the acronym of being called MGTOW. Like it was literally called men going their own way in the beginning.
Right. So if a guy is, let's say he's MGTOW in his 20s into his 30s, he gets to be like 30, let's say 38, 37, 38. Is he in violation if he wants to start a family at that point, if he's lived MGTOW that whole time, because he's basically built that up, right? He has no valid, he doesn't need a woman to validate him, but he still like wants kids, wants a family and all that stuff. Is he violating at that point, or is it just like a respectable
Well,
decision?
look, it's a respectable decision. I wouldn't say, you know, like I said, if you break it down and you understand what it is. First of all, we already know that the system is not geared towards men in that type of way anyway,
Uh-huh.
right? So if you understand that, why would you get married?
Right.
It's a life choice, not a lifestyle. So why would you get married? I can't. Hey man, it's your decision. Everything comes down to what you want. But why would you want to put yourself in that system if you understood what MGTOW was about? It's a whole system of fuckery. So my thing is, the violation. I won't say like, oh, you violated Article 13, Rule number 101. Some
Right.
shit like that. Now you're exiled. You just not MGTOW. Like it is what it is, and you made the personal decision to put yourself back in that system of fuckery.
Uh-huh. Are there MGTOW guys that cohabitate?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
But then again, in real life, I don't know if I know anybody per se who claims to be MGTOW, but I know that there's dudes like a couple of my homies. They're married and divorced and they had kids, but they're not having kids anymore. But they might have a girl that they live with, but they don't claim to be I'm MGTOW. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because some MGTOW, every MGTOW is a little different to me. But if they understand the first two things that was brought about MGTOW,
Mm-hmm.
um, then it is what it is, man. But no marriage, no cohabitation. That was the first two things that was brought about as far as MGTOW is concerned.
Okay, so that
Um,
that doesn't necessarily mean no family then.
I mean, really, um, having kids is part of that system. So if you know
Okay.
about, divorce rape, vagina money, um, child support. Yeah, that's what it is, man. You're paying for pussy that you ain't even getting, homie.
Yeah, that's
Vagina
crazy.
money. You tax. Saying you got puss tax. But
Mm-hmm.
I, something where I don't know where it went wrong in your code, your DNA, and I believe I've broken that. To be my
Uh-huh.
age and haven't done it. But there's something, I don't know if you want to call it a biological imperative. I don't really fuck with all that. But
Uh-huh.
um, I think there's something wrong if you know. That's why if you claim to be actual MGTOW, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
actually claim that and you understand it, then I don't see why you would do it. Why you
Right.
would go back on that and put yourself in that situation.
Right. Hey, that's interesting because you said biological imperative. I'm gonna make a slight pivot.
But
Um, in regards to all this gender war stuff, right? How can you win a gender war if you are still willing to be a slave to your biological imperative?
I think the biological imperative maybe towards the animal kingdom, like they just go out and fuck. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, man. There's a level of control, that you have in order to live out this life choice. And
Uh-huh.
unfortunately, some men, every everybody slips up every now and again. Hold on, the hell is that? Everybody slips up, but that's a bad slip up, you know. And to Skinner's point, what do you say? Um, a lot of MGTOW actually have or had family, right? So this is where I separate the MGTOW, right? Yes, a lot of them had family, and now they're MGTOW. So there are some men who were forced to go their own way, and then the guys who've never had that, you know, like those guys I call sent their own way, and that's not a knock to that. It's that they saw how the system was and they said fuck it, right? And then there's the guys who haven't had that and they see it and they'll say fuck it, like I don't even want it. But either which way, if you choose to get back into that, then you never really said fuck it. So I think the biological imperative thing, like what is that, to make kids, right? I'm not really
Well, they say that the biological, mainly in the context of these discussions, it's the number one, the biological imperative to want to have sex with women,
Yeah, that's fine.
and to reproduce yourself.
No. I don't believe that part. The part about having sex, yes.
Okay.
But the other part of that is that's what happens if you don't protect yourself. Right? You can have all the sex you want, but if you don't protect yourself and you skeet, then you're gonna have kids. But at the same time, like, you can have all the sex you want. You know, some motherfuckers have went so far to keep their own shit. I ain't doing that. But, you know, wearing rubbers and doing this and doing that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, yes, anytime you have sex, you know, you can probably guarantee that, you know, at one point in time, you're going to have a baby.
Uh-huh.
So clipping your nuts is like the only way to go if that's what you really, if you really don't want kids, that's what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I've been fortunate enough to where, you know, yeah, my mishaps were way back in the days, my earlier years.
Right.
Look at this agreeable. I ain't fucking again. No, I'm sorry. Like, I've never been the type of dude. Like it's weird for me to hear dudes say like, "Well, I don't fuck with women anymore," and it, you know, I've never been that type of guy. But look, I also understand. It's not my thing, but I understand.
Right.
Stand. So life. Nigga, look, man. Look. See, nobody. A lot of people, the majority, back again, like they don't like when the way a single man might look at life in that majority, as far as like, yeah, I just don't want to be married. I don't want to have a wife. I don't want no kids. They don't understand. They don't understand that because, like I said, the traditional thing, you were called like some type of faggot, or you didn't like women, or you know, you weren't a real man because you didn't have that shit. And it's like, yeah, I see what the fuck you're going through. I don't want to be that real man. I'm sorry. I just don't want to be. Not sorry, not sorry. It's my fucking choice. If you don't like it, you can kick rocks. I tell anybody that. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, the biological imperative, it kind of that argument falls flat because it it does influence behavior, but it doesn't dictate it. You know what I'm saying? Like we do things all the time that are against the biological imperative. The whole concept of discipline is to go against your biological imperative.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
right.
Like it only sounds good to those who are a slave to their biological imperative. You know, the whole eat, sleep, fight, bust, all that.
Yeah, that's an excuse. I think it's an excuse. How come you can control all this shit in your life, but you can't control that one thing?
There you go.
Control is control 100% of the time, brother.
Yeah. 80% trying not to nut, 10% pleasure, and 10% work. No, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. That's a
Like I
fact.
said, a life choice versus a lifestyle. You know, I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
the life choice will determine your lifestyle, but you know, you make the choice first.
Right.
You know, like I
Yes,
said,
sir.
man, look, when I was younger, man, look, man, I would have had like 5 kids, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But lucky for me, you know, most of them were in the Navy, so they chose otherwise. And for me, when I look at it, I'm like, well, they were smart, you know, because they didn't want to get kicked off the boat for being pregnant and shit. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? The other ones, it was like, you know, I can't do it and this and that. You know, I had one motherfucker told me, he said, so you're saying you're not even good enough to be a baby daddy? And I'm like, yes, if that's how you
Uh-oh.
want to take it. Because the way you just said it, you sound so stupid. You hear all these dudes, dog, and I've been down to the courts out here, man, in Vegas, bro. And I think D Shep, you know, he knows where that shit is. And why the
Mm-hmm.
fuck would I want to be a baby daddy? Why the fuck?
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
Exactly. I want to fucking fuck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you know what's best for my family, bitch?
Mr. Hill, there's no need to yell and cuss. One of the two will suffice.
How you know what's best for my family, bitch?
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Well, bro, hey, I mean, we you know, an hour and some change in. You want to open up the panel, man?
I mean, yeah, you can. It's always good to have a fucking panel.
Always good, bro. Hey, before I do that, shout out Dick Thug, and I appreciate the cash app. Let me see what I got for you, bro. Let me see what I got.
Protect your fucking neck.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So, what'll I make you? Good? You're not good. You just know how to hide, how to lie. Me, I don't have that problem. Me, I always tell the truth, even when I lie. So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you.
Humans, for the most part, don't have a clue. They don't want one or need one either. They're happy. They think they have a good bead on
Well, why the big secret? People are smart. They can handle it.
things. A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. And 15 minutes ago, you knew that people were alone on this planet. Imagine what we'll know tomorrow.
Charlie,
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
what's up? What's up, man?
Yeah, you just have to, Bud, I really like your content, Bud. I agree with it a lot, we really need to understand people and how people how do I say this? What are the right words for me to say? I don't know. I got murked.
Yeah, I see. Motherfucker couldn't come up with the words.
Yo.
Oh man.
Oh my God, man. Vision, what's happening, man? What's happening, bro?
Hey, what up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. I can hear you. What
All
you
right.
got on it, bro?
I have a question for SHAKA-NEU-LU. Yo, Shaka, you there?
Yeah.
I heard you say something about when your dad died. How did you handle that as a man? Or anybody here, if your fathers passed away, how do you deal with that as a man?
Well, I
I
didn't
don't know.
handle it well. I mean, I went
Sorry?
off the rails. I said I didn't handle
Yeah.
it well. I went off the rails. My
Okay.
dad was my best friend.
Uh-huh.
You know, I was raised by my dad. So, you know, I punched the fucking wall. And if anybody's from California and you know hospital walls in Cali are made out of fucking solid shit, I almost broke my damn hand.
Yep. Crazy, man.
How about you, Frison-Lou? Like, is your dad still around or?
Yeah, my dad's still around.
Oh, okay, so it's not. That's not. Yeah.
I haven't
My
got to that point yet.
Yeah, my dad is really sick right now, and so they're telling us he doesn't have a lot of time. So like, I don't know how to prepare myself, you know. So like, all my friends, all their dads are still young, right? So it's kind of like it's a kind of on my own how to figure this out. Just trying to compute or calculate it. You know what I mean? You try to prepare for it, right? Like you don't think it's ever gonna happen. You know, that's what it is. You don't think it's ever gonna happen, but then that time just sneaks up on you. It's like, holy shit. The doctor start telling you, oh man, we don't know, how much time you got and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the situations where, you know, my dad was going to die, and he didn't, and you know, I just had to stay calm, and I had to be the strength for my family, for everybody else. But it was rough, man. It was rough. I definitely understand. But it's different when it actually happens. So
yeah, because some people go through it, right? Like same with me. My dad's my best friend. You know, he raised us. He's a single father, right? So it's like it's hard to deal with. So it's something that you want to share, which is what this space is supposed to be. You know, we've kind of lost that. You know, a bunch of men kind of sharing information and trying to help each other out, but instead, this space has become a space of fuckery. The other question or the other statement I have for SHAKA-NEU-LU is, I always say this because back in the day, him and Zero are the only guys that I know that are true MGTOWs or were there when MGTOW wasn't online or it was online, but they were like writing posts. You know, they were like writing articles. I was told through Wisdom to interview Shaka and have Shaka like tell the story of MGTOW. Because Zero, you know, Shaka, maybe you know where Zero is, but nobody knows where Zero is anymore, right? He's probably in the shadow somewhere. But you know, you guys got to tell the story of MGTOW, man. You know, kind of same thing with the SYSBM, right? But the SYSBM, they're telling their story. Where the MGTOW, it's kind of hard to find the original people that kind of got it going. So I don't know the story of MGTOW. You know, I got on the net during COVID. COVID is what got me in this space, right? So I'm kind of late to the game. Where MGTOW was like 2008, and somebody says even before that, like 2002. And Shaka, you did share a little bit of story of telling when you told how it had different names, and you said how it separated from the men's right movement. But I think one day the story of MGTOW needs to be told by somebody that was there from the beginning or close to it.
But the whole thing is, it's not a particular story. It's thousands of stories. It's thousands of stories, man. It's the whole thing of, like I said, the programming of the trash shit. Getting fucked in the system. That's the story. So I can understand why somebody, doesn't want to do this shit and say fuck the whole thing. Fuck that shit. Because once you wake up to that shit, man, like I said, I don't understand people who want to, like you said, Free, want to become a slave to that shit again, man. I believe, and I know I have a lot of married friends, and I don't care what anybody thinks. I know a lot of people going to think, well, no, it's not. It's the whole dog. I think that it's slavery.
Yes.
I think it's slavery. I've seen so many henpecked motherfuckers, the whole King of Queens guys, the whole Ray Romano's guys. Dog, I seen it. I've come across so many men, especially in my trade, man, who even tried to retire early, because in the union you can retire at like 55, and now they have to wait because they've been through the shit. You know what I'm saying? They may have enough credits, but the plan B ain't right because they had a divorce or two. Now they got to work another fucking 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And I told the story, bro. I just did when I did my premiere of my homeboy Carlos taking his own life because of that shit.
Damn.
Because of that shit. I'm not down with that, man. So your choice is your choice, but I told you so was there, but he was already married for years. But the thing is, man, when that shit gets taken away from you, some guys handle it different, man. And that was the way he fucking handled it. And that's sad as shit. And I don't never want to see a man go through that. Whether you want to have kids to kind of like, say, leave a piece of yourself on this earth or whatever, man. Hey, man, as long as people fucking remember me, for the wisdom that I gave to them or the understanding that I gave to them, I'm fine with that, man. You know what I'm saying? If you hated me when I was alive, hate me when I'm dead. I don't give a fuck if you talk shit about me when I'm dead. But the people who gonna remember me for the good things, man, that's cool too. Fuck them.
I want to add this. You said there's 1,000 stories, but there's 1,000 perspectives, right? So you have a perspective. Zero has a perspective. Another MGTOW has a perspective. And there's nothing wrong with sharing your perspective. SHAKA-NEU-LU, the game is rigged to benefit the women, right? So let's say I got a player cousin who's a player. And so he got married to a chick, but he didn't stop his player ways. And now she's using the kids to make his life miserable, right? But I have another cousin where both families were involved and that marriage is working out. So that's a traditional marriage, kind of like the SKC type of marriage, if you know what I mean. Or maybe your type too.
That's how mine is. Yeah.
Yeah, where both families are involved, and if there's anything to do with separation, the court doesn't get involved, the kids don't get used, and you gotta talk to the families before you try anything. And so that's the only way it works, and that's called a traditional marriage, from what I've heard in this space. So I've seen both. I've seen the other side where you're a player and the girl gets mad, and then she knows the system is on her side, and boom, the kids are collateral now. And he can't do nothing. He's miserable. She's making his life miserable. And all my buddies that went and bought women from, passport bros, I got passport bro friends who went to Colombia and got their wives from there. They come here, they figure out the system, and boom, they bounce her and make their life a misery. Once they get that citizenship in a first world country. Canada is not as good as the United States, but it's still a first world country, where they pick up your recycling on certain times, and they have codes and everything like that. When building buildings or doing electrician work or whatever, or plumbing, they got codes. We're pretty much a European nation, We're pretty much like one state of the United States. You know how Trump says 51st state? We're pretty much the 51st state of the United States. That's what Canada is. They just won't admit it, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Nah, I could feel it. I understand the other side of the argument, you know what I'm saying? But usually when I'm speaking to an individual person, 9 times out of 10, they have some form of understanding of why shit went left. Like even with the example of the player that continued playing after he got married. It's like you just open. In addition to opening yourself up by getting married, you made it even worse by opening up yourself by continue playing. You know what I'm saying? So, like when I'm having conversations personally with those with guys in my life that have done things like that have been through that, they usually have some understanding of where they fucked up outside of like, yo, I shouldn't have married that bitch. There are some where it's like, nigga, we like on some DDG type shit where it's like, nigga, we told you not to marry that bitch, but and they didn't listen. But there's some where it seemed like it was good, and the nigga just fucked it up. There's somewhere the bitch fucked it up. So for me, it just depends on who I'm talking to. But yeah, unfreedom, man.
I want to add this, please, Lou. I want to add this. Listen, I said this before, and this is not from me. This is from listening to different people. The bitches the women got 1,000 options. They got guys always hollering at them. So
The hoes, yeah. The hoes.
Okay. You just say employees.
3 or 4. No, they got 1,000 options. They're online. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I see them. They never show their men, yet they have men. You know what I'm talking about, right? I got girlfriends who are just friends, right? And so I see them online, and they never show their men. I'm like, where's your man? They never show their man. They're on Instagram. People are hollering at them, and they love attention. They're at work, and the work husband is hollering at them. So, you gotta have a woman that comes from a good family with a strong will, and that's down for you. And shout out to Zero. He said this. He said there was a research done. When the female is more attracted to you than you to her, she usually stays.
Go P, what's happening, bro? I caught you live earlier, man. It's good to see you, man. What's good, Go?
What's happening? What's happening?
Peace, God.
Peace.
What's
Peace.
good? What's good, bro?
Man? What's good? Appreciate y'all rocking.
Peace.
What's good, man? Step into the building. I seen you guys on building, so hey, I came to be in the presence of the greatness of you guys, So I appreciate you guys welcoming the brother, welcome to God. Hey, I appreciate it without question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Hey, so what do you think about the original topic, man? Where why the majority is always wrong? Oftentimes we hear in these discussions, we base these discussions off of the majority and completely discredit the minority of cases, the minority of situations, when it could be entirely possible that the minority is doing something different than the majority, because the majority of people are waiting to be told what to do. The majority of people really don't want freedom like that. They want unfreedom. Even before like marriage or any of that stuff, they want unfreedom because they want somebody to approve of what they're doing instead of them just doing it. Like, what do you think, bro?
Is that for me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, people tend to go with the masses, meaning the herds, right? If everybody likes ice cream, well, if the majority likes ice cream, then the majority will follow the majority and say, hey, we all like ice cream, right? And ignore the few that says, hey, hold on. That ice cream right there isn't necessarily good for your health and well-being. Now, yeah, you may like it, but does that mean it's good for you? It has all these things in it that may clog your system, may mess up your digestive system or whatever have you, right? What I'm saying is, a lot of people don't know or don't want to know, don't want to accept it. They move in certain ways, whereas they're built to follow. Everybody ain't going to make it, brother. That's what that means, right? The few who do know will say, hold on, let me get that sherbet instead of that dairy ice cream right there. You know, that milk from that cow might put a little extra weight on me. I don't know, but I'm gonna go with this sherbet. Right? That's the difference.
No, I feel it, man.
I hope that makes sense.
No, absolutely. It
You know?
absolutely makes sense, man. People are afraid of having full autonomy. They really are. You know, so
when it comes to people, you know what? We have that saying, hey, you're gonna have to make a decision. You can't be on the side of the fence or on one side or the other. You can't be standing in the middle. You gotta make a decision. So it's either you're gonna go on this side or that side, right? I mean, when you are in that position and you see people wanting to go with the masses because they think the masses are right. But if the masses are all going off the cliff,
right,
that's
right.
where you have to acknowledge your own understanding, man.
Look,
Yes, sir.
look,
Yeah,
if you
man. Bro, speak. Get in there, bro. Get in there. What's happening?
Hey, what's up? What's going on with everybody?
Hey,
I have a quick question for Gold P before you guys move on.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
May I ask, presumably?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I think I've heard you before, and I'm not gonna. You're not. I say you're somewhere between your 40s and 50s. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. I'm power refinement, all born into the knowledge in the cipher. Indeed. Actually, I'm power refinement, equality, all born to knowledge, building forth, bringing forth, all being born to the culture of freedom. Okay, I'm 56, brother. Go ahead.
You have to level. Yeah, I was gonna say you have to level up.
Yeah.
The question
is, how did you handle your father passing away, or is your father still alive?
No,
that's something that's gonna.
No, sir. My father passed away. He passed away in 2007, and it was hard, man. I mean, I still experience heartache to this day. It was hard, brother. You know, because when you have somebody who means something to you, you think about it. You came out of his dick, man.
My balls.
You came out of his. He shot you into your mama. You know, he shot me into my mama, and man, you know, that was a connection that cannot be broken. He gave me a place to come in and speak about him today. Right? So yeah, it was hard, brother. It's something that you don't necessarily ever forget. Not that you're trying to forget, but it's a different connection. A lot of people like to say, "Oh, you know, my mother." They don't put emphasis on their father because your father carried a different bond with you, a different energy. You know, your father has a different type of connection with you. You came through your mother, but you came out your daddy's dick. Okay, you that's where you originate from, his dick. Can I say that, Free Zone?
Yeah, you say whatever you want.
Okay, I'm just checking. You know, but yeah, you know, your connection to your father is deeper than your connection to your mother. Even though a lot of females will put emphasis on, you know, that 9 months, but you know, your dad carried you since he was born. And to that point, he put you into that vessel, and you came through as a replica of him. So the connection is different. You know, the relationship is different. Even if you don't know your father, even if you didn't know your father, well, that still doesn't remove the fact that you came out of his dick. And that's the part You know, you so as far as how I dealt with it, you know, it was challenging. It's still challenging today. That's without question. You know, but fortunately, you know, I have brothers and, you know, I have people who can help me through these ups and downs, man. These ups and downs can be challenging, especially when you're alone and you seek some type of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from someone who you definitely cared about, and he's transitioned to his next life. I mean, your father, you know, even if he was a damn fool, he taught you what not to be. Okay, so yes, when you know, I deal with that today. Even though he passed in 2007, some time ago, it still doesn't take away from that connection, because when I look in the mirror, I see his reflection. I am a reflection of him. So it is my position to do my best to be a good representative of him, not be out here all out of order, doing some dastardly things of that nature. So that's how.
Also,
go ahead.
Hey, real quick, Vision, before you go. Hey, Uncle BB, just say something real quick, man. Like I know you a person, man.
Thanks for having me on the panel, Prism.
Okay. We good.
I was just gonna say this quickly. I studied a little bit of the nation's history, and it's interesting how the nation of the gods on the earth also look up to Father Allah, right? And I was told, don't ever call him by his real name because you'll get slapped in the face. So you know what I mean? It's interesting that we're talking about fathers, and I'm sure some of us on this panel are fathers, and you know how society doesn't really give enough credit to the father. So I just want to add that that's all.
What I would say is, we are all fathers up here because we possess the ability to put life into that one or two or three or many. We're all fathers. It is a matter of how you conduct yourself when you're actually in that position, whether you biologically have children or not. We're all fathers. I have to make that clear.
Father literally is to fat her with the knowledge and wisdom and the understanding as a kid. If you don't have any kids, you're the father, which gives thought for food.
You father the mentality, right? You give guidance to that mentality. That's what a father is. You're a man who gives guidance to the boys who are becoming men. That's what makes you a father. Father-in-law, he found young ones and became their father. And therefore, he blessed them with the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of how to build a culture and live in a right and exact culture. Because if it was the wrong culture, well, then you had to seek freedom and free the dome, build on equality, and become who you right and exactly are. Therefore, building or destroying what is right and exact or what is not right and exact, and making knowledge known consistently. Go ahead.
Hey, go all day.
Mm-hmm. Let me get Bro Speak in here, man. Bro Speak, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, I don't know even how to follow a lot of that. But
that's good.
Yeah,
get in anywhere, bro. You got it.
Yeah, as far as like where we talking about society where the majority, most people don't want to have that freedom because people gonna look at them funny. They're gonna think you're a weirdo. They're gonna think you're strange. They're gonna think you're just something's just wrong, you know. And That's why a lot of people don't want to have that freedom because they don't want those looks. Because when you, like, for me, I've told people at my job, no, I don't want to get married again. No, I don't want kids. And they give you that look, like, why you don't want kids? Why you don't want to get married again? I'm like, no, because I was married. It didn't go too well for me. So I don't want that. And for the kids, I just never felt the urge to have a child like that. And even if I did, like when you want my ex, I never wanted to be where I'm going to be either a single father or a baby daddy or having to fight to see my kids because, like, with her family's very religious, mine's not as much. And I knew if we broke up, I'm gonna have to fight that whole family to get my child because we're different religions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't want all that stress. And so now I definitely don't want that stress. I've seen these dudes who are baby daddies and go through a whole bunch of mess. I'm sorry, I don't want to go through that. I've seen them with my brothers, how they had to go through that. And the kids just don't respect them, which in some aspects I understand. You weren't a father to them, but then trying to be a father when you wasn't there, that's a tough pill to try to go over, and it don't usually end well. So it's like, no, I don't need all that. But
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, and to the other thing, like vision about about your father passing, at least you got a warning about it. I didn't get that luxury. My dad died, had a heart attack in his home. They didn't find him for 3 days. So I never got that warning about that. Yeah, give me a second. I'll come right back.
All right. So listen, a lot of us, as far as the marriage thing, there are a number of us who've been married and who haven't been married. But the main thing is, for those who have and haven't, you are charged to find some understanding of why you would want to do it, or why you should do it, or why you will not do it. Right? So, for those of you who have been married, you have perhaps a different understanding. I'm not saying better or worse or whatever. I'm just saying you have a different understanding because you have experienced it in that way. And for those who haven't been married, you've watched, you've paid attention, and you have made a decision to say, well, wait a minute. That might not be the best look for me, because especially in the days of now, you don't see how the benefit will be in your favor versus her favor. Because in my stream I recently did, I talked about Akon here in 2025. Now, his wife wants to get a divorce due to irreconcilable differences. I don't think men want to be subject to that, especially in the days of now, where she is saying, hey, you know what? I need child support. I need spousal support. And I'm going to strive to make it a point to where the courts can't say you can ask for the same thing. Okay? So why would a man want to engage in any type of marriage now? Now, if you're a brother who's been married for some time now, 20 years, whatever have you, hey, man, I applaud you. Keep winning. Keep winning. But at this point in time, to be married up under any kind of state or anything of that nature, with all the knowledge and all the analogies, examples that's been placed out here, I would have to say either you are blind, desire to be blind, or you just are foolish. Because the system hasn't changed to benefit you. Listen, I've said numerous times over, I am not against marriage. I'm against the behaviors in a marriage. The marriage and the behaviors in the place of now, in the space of now, has shown to be guided by the social media era. That's what we're in, the social media era. And you will find a lot of these birds want to trauma bond with each other and follow each other, destroying the relationship. And they've been in a relationship for 3, 4, 5 years or longer, but yet irreconcilable differences now arises because this woman over here had something that you think, or not think, you felt was relatable to you. And you know, we're in this day and time where people, these females, think that it is the right and exact thing to destroy your relationship over a significant amount of time because so and so over here is experiencing something, and you think that you're experiencing the same thing. But well, you wonder why men don't want it. You know? They don't want the children. They don't want the marriage. They don't want none of this because they see what is happening in real time, especially here in 2025. You have to be someone who is just literally blind to want to engage that kind of thing. If you're going to look, I say all the time, don't marry the looks, marry the behaviors if you're going to marry. Now that woman, lady, female, whichever one you deem worthy of you to, you know, be in a relationship with, married, or whatever have you, she may be a 4, 3, 4, 5. But if her behavior is on your purpose, if her behavior is, if you're rocking with her behavior because her behavior says, hey, I am a supporting cast member. I'm rocking with you off top. You tell me to do this, do that, I'm following instructions and proper corrections. Then that 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 becomes 8, 9, 10. Now, I'm not saying go and marry her like that, but I'm saying you in a good position if you have someone like that. My position is, no, don't do it. I mean, there are people in these spaces. Hey, shout out to KS. He promoted marriage and all like that. And I think he may have a point because he wanted families to come together. But under these times, no. If you're gonna have a relationship, make that relationship between you and her. You want to get her a ring, and you guys wear a ring. You tell her when she go outside, she is to acknowledge yourself as I'm married to so and so, and when I go outside or you go outside, I'm married to so and so. That is a relationship understanding between you and her. It don't involve any of the state or anybody else. That is a relationship between you and her. That's it. If you happen to have children out of it, okay, well you set up some personal thing where you bless the children with something, whatever have you. You take care of your family. That's your family. She's rocking with you. She's rocking with you off top. That's how that goes. She is not the boss of you. You are the boss of her, regardless of what she says. You are the boss of her. All right. You brothers gotta have some supreme understanding here when it comes to Now, I'm not a relationship coach or a guru or anything like that. I just happen to be one who's of age and who has experiences. So, that's that part right there, brother. I hope I'm being clear for everybody. And hell, I'm just speaking word into you. That's it.
No, you good, man.
No, you make sense. I wholly agree. I mean, you don't marry for the looks. You don't marry because, hey, if your parents were married and they stayed married, that's great. But that may not be for you. You often got to find out what's for you. I remember I was on a panel with somebody, and this guy said, you know what, I don't want to have that type of connection. We can chill and with the woman and all that, but past that, like, no, I'd rather be alone. They called him weak. I had to get up there and tell him, I said, that's not weak. He knows what he know what he's capable of, and he know what he's not capable of. He know what he wants for him and what he don't want. That's strength. I think a lot of times guys don't know what they're capable of, what they want and what they don't want. And they just follow this script of, well, I gotta be married. If I'm not married, I'm not a man. If I don't have children, I'm not a man. And it's like, who decided that? Was it you or someone else? And a lot of times it's someone else that didn't even succeed at what they're trying to get you to do. They having all these problems and issues, and they want to have this, I guess, a trauma bonding in that they want everybody else to suffer because they suffer. Like, no, I'm good on that. And I'm like, I'm not against marriage either. I think it is a personal choice. But you have to figure if that's what you want, and what are you willing to sacrifice for that? That's also the thing. Guys don't understand. There's a sacrifice you have to make for that. If you're the guy who got to run around with these chicks, either you're gonna have to get that woman to understand that, or marriage ain't for you.
Why would you sacrifice? Sacrifice what?
I feel like you have to sacrifice something.
What is it?
Or I'll change it to, I won't say sacrifice, because that would require you have to give up stuff. I do think compensate, more or less. Compensate that woman for being with you. Just like she's compensating. Well, just like anything else. If somebody's working with you, you compensate them for working with you. Just like friendship.
What should she be compensated for?
Huh?
What should she be compensated for?
I say taking care of her. That's the compensation.
So
if you're taking care of her, that's, like you said, that's your job as a husband. If you are going to be the husband.
No, sir. No, sir. If you are taking care of her, if you're providing something for her, shouldn't she be compensating you?
That's why I was going to get to that.
Yes,
she's compensating you, you compensating her.
No, you're not compensating her.
You're not compensating.
You're providing. If I'm providing something for you,
that's the same as compensation. That is compensation. No. If you're providing, it's like if somebody's working for you, you're providing them an income. It's the same as compensation. It's the same thing.
I think we're getting those mixed up. If I'm providing something for you, okay, you are in a position to reciprocate. You're in the compensative position. If I'm giving you a home, I'm giving you a home, I'm giving you a place. The compensation is, the reciprocation is, you pay for that place that I've blessed you with, be it physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, as well, and or financially. You are compensating me for providing you something, a place to stay.
Right.
So I'm not compensating her. She is compensating me. He is reciprocating, because if she wasn't in that space, she wasn't there, then who would I be compensating?
Okay.
I would be providing something for the self, right? Not compensating. I would be providing.
Right. Okay. I hear you.
Yes, sir.
But the other side is that to deal with you, that's a compensation too.
But
You're compensating her for dealing with you.
Hold on, there's some background.
She's compensating you for dealing with her. It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Is your wife supposed to be providing for you? Because last time I checked,
she's a supporting cast member.
But she's providing you support. That's providing.
Right.
Okay, then that's the same thing. It's providing compensation.
No, she's compensating me for what I am providing for her.
Right. And you are compensating her for what she's providing.
No, how am I compensating her for what she's providing for me when she is charged to support what I'm providing?
She's charged to support by who?
She's charged to support what I am providing for her.
By who? You or her? You, God, who?
By me. She's in the relationship with me, right?
Right.
So if she's in the relationship with me and I'm providing proper instructions and corrections for her,
okay,
she compensates me by following my proper instructions and corrections, and therefore she is the benefactor, the beneficiary of my work.
Okay, and aren't you supposed to benefit from her?
I benefit from her because she is following my instructions that I gave her.
Which she
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So she's following your instructions. She sees you as the leader.
Yes, sir.
She's choosing to see you as that leader.
Yes, sir.
Okay. She don't have to do that.
She doesn't.
That's a choice she made. She chose you to be a leader of her.
Yes, sir.
And she's depending on you for that knowledge and that you are wise, and giving her the information so that she can better herself and help you do what you need to do. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So in that, yes, you're compensating her for choosing you to be that leader because she didn't have to.
Okay.
And just like you're compensating her for the fact that, hey, you're giving her all this knowledge, you're giving her all this, you're compensating her for following it. Because she could just say you kick rocks and just make your life miserable.
So let me ask you, are you saying she's equal to me?
I didn't say equal.
Okay. So we can
I never said equal.
So we can
I said compensation. Compensation don't have to be equal.
Okay. So we can rule that out. She's not trying to be equal to me, right?
No, I'm not saying she's trying to be equal.
So, but we can rule that out, right?
Right.
Okay.
If you're the lead, you're the head, she's under you.
Yes, sir.
I agree with that.
Okay, so we can rule that out. So being that she's under my umbrella, she's under me, right?
Right.
And being that she's under me and she's in a relationship with me, that would mean she is on my ship, right? She's on my ship and she's striving to relate to me. Can we say that?
Right.
Okay. So on my ship, I have certain things. I have these provisions, so let's say. You know, I have this energy that says, hey, anybody come through this door, I'm waving the 4-4. I have this piece that's on my ship that she's wanting to relate to. Right? I have that.
Okay.
She's wanting to be a part of that. So I provide that. Right? I'm providing that.
Absolutely.
I'm providing something that she wants to be a part of. Now it is up to me to let her be part of this ship that we're on, because she desires to relate to what this ship says, what this ship means. Right?
Right.
Okay. So if I decide to let her get on this ship and relate to what I'm doing, well, there has to be some line of conversation, because I already had this before she came. And I
Hey,
already
somebody got mute up.
and I will
Yeah,
have this when she
Well, I opened by myself from 10 to 12. Jen came in for 12:15. I had only bought 351 cans.
somebody got something in the background.
I don't know what's happening. And every one of my guys that usually has like a bolo, they're like cut half of it. They closed on the 14th. The 14th is the last day.
Yeah, that's not me.
It's not me.
All right. All right, pal.
All right.
Okay, yeah, there we
All
go.
right.
Yeah,
Here we
go ahead.
So
I
what
got you.
would do is that if she wants to relate to me on this ship, that I have the provisions, I have all the provisions on this ship that she wants to relate to, then that would mean when I give her permission to be in this relationship, to be on this ship, then she has to compensate me in the right way, meaning her behaviors have to be in order, right?
Right.
She can't come onto this ship and be out of order, because this ship demands order. This ship, if you want to relate to it, requires you to be a certain way. And for you to get on this ship, you're going to have to compensate me for what I already provide. Right? I'm bringing you over. I'm letting you come on because you asked for permission to be on this ship with me. You want to relate to what I have going on. Right? So, look, I want to make this clear, not only to you, but to all the people in the space. This is not an innate type of conversation of meaning selfish. No, this is applied selfishness here. I'm applying a level of selfishness here. I'm saying that, it's the compensation has to be paid because I'm already providing something. Now, she would compensate me with good behavior, following instructions, receiving my correction, carrying herself like she's supposed to. And this is compensation. I'm not compensating her for something I already give her. It is on her to conduct herself correctly, or she will be removed from the deck. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but here's the thing with that.
Go ahead.
She still have to see worth in that, what you are providing. Because let's say you provide this information and all that, and you might think it's worth something.
Okay.
But if she don't think it's worth anything, she could choose not to get on the ship.
Why does it matter what she thinks?
It don't matter what she thinks. I'm not saying it does. But if she don't think anything, if she don't think it, then she's not gonna go.
Okay.
Now you don't have to care what she think about it, because like you said, she ain't following what you're doing. Bye.
Then how is it a conversation?
What do you mean it's a conversation?
How is it a conversation about what she likes, what she thinks, or whatever?
Because at the end of the day, she still got to choose you as her leader. She don't have to.
You're right.
So she could take. She don't have to. It's still a choice. So that's the point. Now, I'm not saying you got to care more about her feelings about it than your standard. I'm not saying that at all. I think it should be, it's your way or the highway.
Okay.
But
conversation. If it's my way or the highway,
okay.
Why is the conversation about what she thinks, what she likes, when she's trying to get on my ship?
Because she's trying to get on your ship. So you still got to talk to her, right?
Yeah. And I decide whether I'm going to rock with her or not, right? So that would
right. And then she decides the same thing. It's the same thing. Y'all still going to decide whether she going to rock with you or not. She still got to decide she going to take that chance with you.
But how?
And she may choose not to do that.
But if she's trying to get on my boat, why would that be a conversation about what she likes or thinks? Her goal is to get on my boat, get on my ship.
Still gotta see if it's worth anything. She might be trying, but she still don't see, and she don't see it. She get on there and see it ain't worth it. Damn, she can just get right back off.
But she was desiring to get on my ship. That would mean, and she was being disingenuous. That would mean she was being manipulative. And if I see that off the top, then I kick her off the boat. I don't even let her get on the boat. It ain't even a conversation, is it?
And how you gonna see that all the time? And who's to say she was disingenuous? She may have been at first wanting to get on the boat, but then she see the boat ain't what it is. Decide to get off. That's still a choice.
So she made a choice to get off my ship. Why? It's because she's seen that the ship carried a certain line of order.
Right. It may not be for her.
So she decided that she couldn't rock with that order, right?
Couldn't rock with the order, and she left. So
who's that on?
And she left. Huh? Nobody.
No.
It's on nobody.
It's got to be on somebody.
Don't have to be on nobody.
Well,
why does it have to be on somebody? Because if your ship, if you believe your ship is solid, why does it have to be on you? Why does it have to be on her? It can be just, hey, y'all don't mesh for whatever reason.
Okay.
She might have some mental problems that, hey, she might have mental issues or something going on where it don't mesh with you. But how you gonna know that if you don't have a conversation? You still gotta have a conversation with regardless.
So every man, especially here in so-called America, we know that you can't just go up and grab a broad, right?
Right.
You can't just go up and grab a broad, because why? You end up perhaps incarcerated or shot or something like that, because we know females have a line of resources that can put a man in position. Can we agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we agree with that, that would mean you would have to have a conversation with her. You're gonna have to, have a conversation and see where you're at. And that's how you begin to get an understanding of where this person is coming from. Now, if this person wants to get on your ship and relate to what you're talking about, she's going to have to position herself to do so, to be able to do so. And that's when you, as the man, lay out what your order is. Now, off top, when you lay out what your rule is and say, hey, I'm not rocking this way or that way. You can't come on my ship with that bent weed, those umbrellas, that BBL, your stuff hanging all out. You can't come up here with all that. Now, if I'm saying all that and she decides to take all that off and get on my ship and get in line, and then she finds out that I meant what I said when she was on my ship and she decides to get off, who is that on?
In that point, yeah. If She decided that's her on her. But
why would I even let her on my ship?
That's what I was about to say. You see all that with her on there already. Why would you even let her on the ship?
Because I examined her behavior, brother. She attempted to make a change. She attempted to.
I gave her. I wouldn't give her that opportunity.
Perhaps so.
If I don't like weave, if I don't like the BBL, and I don't like all that stuff, her dressing out, there's no need to have a conversation.
I'm with
She's
you.
already eliminated.
I'm with you.
So
where they at, right? You meet people where they are.
Not me. Yeah, okay. I'll meet you. Well, you know what? You're right. I will meet you at. You're not for me. I met you where you're at. I see that you're already out of pocket. Go over there. It's just like I have a standard. Nobody can smoke around me. No woman can smoke around me. I don't care what you're doing it for. If I find out you're smoking, it's already over.
So it is on her to decide whether she is going to be in your presence or not, right?
You
say, hey, I don't deal with that smoking. She's got to make a decision, right?
Right.
Okay. So if she's making the decision to not be in your presence, who is that on?
That's her.
All right.
But my question is, if you see all this problem, then and you still want to engage with her anyway, and she decides to change up, the initial is on you. You see the problems, and you want to give her a chance. I'm not giving her a chance. Then I would say that's on you.
Okay.
Then I have to question your leadership skills, because at the end of the day, you see she's out of pocket, just off the rip, out of pocket, everything out of pocket. And you're choosing to give her a chance to change? Not me, sir. I can't do it.
This is not where we originally started from. I had to take you down a road.
Let me ask a question real quick. When y'all say compensated, are we talking about from a perspective of at the beginning of the relationship, or are we talking about within the relationship as the relationship continues for as long as it does?
I'm talking about as the relationship continues.
I'm saying there's no compensation. You can't. I'm saying the compensation from beginning to end. There's no compensation. No, sir. You're providing. How are you giving compensation when you're providing?
If you're working for someone, that's compensation. You're providing them the income. That's the same thing.
You work for them. They're providing you a place to work, and you compensate them for being on work on time.
Okay, you're providing a job, are you not? You're providing a lifestyle, are you not?
No, sir.
Yes.
I'm using your analogy. If I'm working for somebody, I'm using your analogy. If I'm working for somebody, that person is providing me a place to work.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go to work, I compensate that job who hired me with my time and energy, because I work for them. They pay me for coming to work, providing the work. That's what they pay me for.
Mm-hmm.
They provide. I compensate that job with my time and energy. That's labor. I give them my labor.
Okay.
How are they compensating me for what they already?
The job?
Yes, sir.
The job?
Yes, sir.
I would say they're giving you money.
You're compensating them for actually working for you. They don't have to work for you.
I would say that they're providing you a job, right?
Yes, sir.
But they're also compensating you for that job. that you're
Right.
doing. Otherwise,
But
why would you be there?
in the
Why would you
context
be here?
in the context of how he's using it, it is not right and exact.
Okay. I wouldn't use the word compensate in terms of a relationship, because in a relationship there's a reciprocity.
There
And
you
as the relationship evolves, and let's say there's kids evolve, that there's kids that get involved, then that reciprocity expands.
There you go.
So I'm kind of I didn't know I don't know whose point I'm making. I was with y'all for a moment, and then it kind of got lost in translation. But like,
I think
neighbor,
you're making more his point than mine.
okay, what was your point?
My point is, my whole thing is relationships. I don't call it because at first I said sacrifice, and I
Correct.
said I'm not going to check. I'm not going to use sacrifice because that means you're giving up something.
Well, you are giving up something. It is a
Well,
sacrifice. You know what I mean?
it is
Like,
some type of sacrifice. I tend to use it more as compensation. You're compensating this person for dealing with you, and in turn, you're compensating them for dealing with you. That's been my thing.
I would say I would change the word compensate to reward. You're rewarding that person for being with you, and vice versa. And as that reward system, that reward loop continues, it gives further incentive to stay in that relationship. Once either person realizes that I can get better rewards somewhere else,
right,
they will lean towards leaving that relationship.
And you have to give them bigger reward incentives to be with you. It's like I said, compensation. You can. It's still in the realm of compensation because you're giving them incentives. It's just like at a job. Like my job in particular, the pay is not the highest, but the pension, the insurance is free for me. That's the incentives. So that also rolls into the compensation. So in my situation, especially when you're talking about children and stuff, well, hey, she's giving you children.
So
you have to compensate for that. You have to compensate for that. Or let's say she can't give you children, but you want children.
Yes.
So you got to compensate for that too.
Wait a minute. So if she didn't give you children, you got to compensate her for not giving you children?
In some way, yes.
Why?
Because if you wanted children, she can't give you children, but you still want to be in this. You want her to be in the relationship with you. I mean,
can I add something, guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good. I put you in the back because there was a lot of noise going on. That's the reason why I put you in the back. No, you're good.
My bad.
Yeah, I don't hear it now. You're good.
Okay, I heard the word sacrifice. Well, as a man, you ever hear a master key can open any door, and then the other opposite of it, any door that can be opened by any key is worthless. Like you as a man, can impregnate many women in Islam, right? Traditional Islam, you can have up to 4 wives if you can provide for them, right? King Solomon had over 700 wives or something like that. I don't have the number correct, but you know what I mean. So you as a man, a productive man who's got his shit together, you have the option of having many women. But in Western society, when you get married, that's it. Your only obligation is to her and her to you. So they both have to sacrifice not to sleep with other people. It's just out of respect. So you do sacrifice something. You sacrifice all your options.
Not necessarily. It depends on the relationship you got. Because if you can be in a relationship, if you can set it where, hey man, listen, I'll marry you, take care of you, all that stuff. But I want to have this woman here. I might sleep with this woman here. put it on the table. Now give her the choice. You got to give her the choice.
We got to address one thing at a time, because
I know I was answering his question, because I was trying to answer that question, one. But yeah, you can go ahead. I didn't mean to jump. I don't mean to over talk you.
No worries. Hey, no worries. But what my question to you, because I want to stay on the subject here of why you think a woman should be compensated if she is not able to give you children. I'm still struggling with that. How do we get to that? Compensated.
That's her only purpose. That's her only purpose, is giving children. She can't give it now, she's worthless.
Yeah, but she should be compensated if she isn't able to give you children. Why should she be compensated? What should she be compensated for?
For the fact you still she still want to be in the relationship, even though she failed to give you children.
So
otherwise, if you still want her around, if the children were the goal, why would you even have her around?
Okay. I'm still. Because I want to address these, but you still really haven't answered why or what she should be compensated for or with if she isn't able to give you children.
If she can't give you children and you still decide to keep her around, knowing that the fact that she knows that you want children, but she can't do that, but you're still having her around. Yeah, I think you need to compensate. I do think you do need to compensate.
With what?
With the patience and the guidance, even more so, and even more emotional support, because that's a failure. One of her, if you want to say that was her primary objective for being in marriage, is to have children. She can't do that. That's going to affect her.
So, are you basing this?
That sounds like her problem.
Are you basing this off of her being the main character in the relationship? You think she should be the main character in a relationship?
I don't think she should be the main character of the relationship.
Why would you say you have to compensate her, because being that she isn't able to give you, the man, children?
Okay, but you're keeping her in the relationship, are you not?
Hey, if she wants to stay in the relationship, being that I want children, then she's going to have to make it a point to stand in while I achieve my purpose. It's not about her, it is about me.
I understand that.
So why
but my thing is, why would you have her around if she can't give you children?
Well, she may have some qualities that I may want or desire or whatever have you. We found out later she wasn't able to have children. But it doesn't disturb what I feel for her or what I think about her and how I want to be with her. But it is on her if she wants to stay in a relationship knowing what my purpose is, because me as the man, I'm not veer from my direction, my purpose. Because when she came into the relationship, off top, she knew and understood it is about being on my purpose, not me on her purpose. Whatever her perceivable thought, idea, feeling is about where she should be in a relationship, it is not about her. It is about what I'm doing, because what I am doing is continuing to take care of what belongs to me. She belongs to me.
Okay, she belongs to you. I got you.
When you get married, she takes on your last name. In general, she takes on your last name. So she belongs to you. So why would I have to compensate her Yes, she may want to stay in a relationship. That would mean she would have to work harder to stay in a relationship because she knows I'm about my purpose. Have you ever heard of a bottom bitch?
Oh. Yeah, I've heard of them, and
Yeah.
if you want to keep them, that's great. But I don't. I've heard the term. I think it's dumb, but
No, a
that's
bottom bitch
a me
will
problem.
stay there with you. She's got to make it to that level, brother. Bottom bitch got to work to get to that page. Come on now.
Okay, I get.
I'm having trouble with that one, bro. Speak, to be honest with you, bro. Because if I'm with somebody who can't have kids and I want to have kids, I'm having trouble understanding how. I guess the word would be sacrifice. I would have to sacrifice an awful lot to make that work, because that's me sacrificing me having kids. Unless I go with unless I leave with somebody else.
Okay.
Go have kids with somebody else. Basically cheat on her.
I think what I said was, if you keep her in the relationship, because if she can't have children, you keeping her there. My thing is, why would you keep her there? She's failed at wouldn't that be? And she knows she's failed at what you desired is the children.
That would be my number one question. Why would you?
And I want to ask something. I want to ask something here, guys. Please, listen. As men, we all know. Okay, as men, we all know that you have to build yourself, right? The way the system is set up, well, it says in the Bible, "Be fruitful and multiply." So if you believe in that trajectory, then be fruitful and multiply. The woman has to be able to give you children, okay? And as a man, you can't be a loser, okay? You can't be an incel. You can't be a nobody. You have to have a good job. You got to build yourself to something. While now I understand why they call women children, because she gets to play around in this society, not before. In this society, in Western society, the woman gets to play around, gets to mess around. She deals with losers. She deals with the bad boys. And then when she goes to the finish line, and she waits for a qualified man. And a man has to build himself to be something. Whether he's another Christian, whether he's a doctor, whether he's a police officer, whether he's a firefighter, whether he's a paramedic, whether he's a plumber. He has to build himself to something for that woman to accept him. So if a woman cannot give him a bare minimum of children, she's worthless. There's no compensation. Because a man has to build himself to something, and we all understand that. Every man here has built himself to something, and then qualified for a woman, and he qualified her, because she has to come with something too. And in this society, women want to work as well. So it's different. Not like before, where she stayed in the kitchen, butt naked, and got pregnant. That's not society.
It's butt naked, huh?
Well, this is what I would say, brother. Listen. There are women in this world who weren't able to have children. Yeah, I mean, that's nothing new. There's nothing new about that. And the man kept them in the relationship. He let her because he understood, hey, we found out that you weren't able to have children. We tried.
You talking about Sarah? Just joking.
You weren't able to have children, but hey. You stayed in, she stayed in and said, hey, I'm going to keep rocking you. You can have children with somebody else, but I'm going to be right here with you. And we're going to go through it. I'm going to help you, not only you, but I'm going to help anybody else who's involved with you. I'm going to be a bottom bitch. Now, if you have understanding of that, then we win.
You know what, man? I want children. So if I get with a woman, she better be able to give me children. I can't deal with no barren bitch like Sarah in the Bible, right? And even her, God ended up helping her out. And that caused a whole problem that we live with today.
Well, they did. Well, that wasn't really her fault. That was both of their fault, because they went against God's plan. So ultimately, that's under him. They knew the plan. They supposed to follow God's word. they went against God's word. That's where they messed up.
Well, hey, look, man. This whole thing started out with the conversation about, because our conversations grow legs, right?
Yeah.
And they tend to venture off in different type of directions or whatever have you.
Right? Boy, ain't it?
Yeah, that shit.
Bring it back. Because,
hey.
It seems like my guy over here wants to give, females all this position, all this power, and we're saying, well, at least me, I'm saying no, that's not right and exact.
Where did I say I'm giving them power? Where the power?
It's from these conversations we're having.
Where am I giving her power?
Well, when you say,
I'm confused.
Well, when you say, we have to compensate her for just existing, because when you say because she can't have children, we still have to compensate her. You're giving her all the power.
I'm not giving her all the power, because again, you're gonna have to deal with the fact. You're gonna have to deal with the fact that she feels like she's a failure.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to deal with that. So you want her to be sitting around feeling like a failure, and as you the leader, and you think that's not gonna cause problems in your relationship?
You as the man, are you in control of what she feels?
How you control how she feels?
Are you in control of what she feels or how she feels?
No, I'm not in control.
Okay, so,
but you still have to take it in consideration regardless.
I'm not saying you can't, but why is it a conversation? Why does it have so much weight to you?
Why it has weight to me?
Why does it have so much weight to you?
Because she's with you.
Okay.
And if you don't deal with it, it's going to come back to bite you.
Okay, I talk to her and say, hey, baby, you're going to be all right. And we're going to keep it pushing. Is that
simple? Enough? Simple conversation like that. You say, hey, you're not a failure. Hey, this just what it if this is God-based, it's God-based. Simple. Yeah, I'm not saying you got to do extra. You're making it seem like I'm telling you to do extra work. That's what I'm like. You're making it like you got to give her the moon and the stars because she didn't have children. I'm like,
you did
simple conversation.
I just asked you some questions.
I'm like, the way it's making it sound like I'm saying, oh, you got to put her at the top of the. No, I'm not even saying none of that. I'm saying, hey,
I just asked you some questions and you put emphasis on it.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I'm doing my bad. My bad, but that's just my bad on that. But
no, you good, Jay. What's good?
Yes,
what's
sir.
Good?
Yes, sir.
What you got on it?
I don't even know anymore, actually.
Sometimes you just gotta get out of there, man.
Yeah, that's why I fell back, because then they start talking about compensation, and I'm like, what about rewards? And there's like, nah, we're not talking about rewards. I'm like, okay, I feel goofy now. Let me fall back. I'm fucking up. I'm fucking up. Like, oh, now you want to reward a bitch for doing nothing? I'm like, nah, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant, man. Maybe I'm lost in the sauce. I'll chill.
You know the people here. People here.
Yeah, Skinner,
I'm pretty sure I'm getting blamed in the comment section myself. So listen,
reassurances.
I know it is.
And then they brought up pimp language, so I was like, oh, where?
Hey, I stayed out of that. I'm like, hey, listen, I think that kind of language is dumb, my personal self, but hey, that's how you want to do it. Hey, ooh, I just,
Hey, listen, I have a saying. I'm not a pimp, but I know policies and procedures.
Yeah, as long as you're not religious, I guess that makes sense.
No, I'm not religious, but why do you bring that up?
I don't know. Sarah got brought into the conversation, so I was confused.
I
How
brought
Sarah
Sarah into
and
the
Bottom. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, those two don't correlate to me.
Okay, what correlates to you?
Sarah was his wife who was barren, and he accepted her as his wife. The one that he had a child with, Hagar, right? Yeah. Hagar was his concubine that never became his wife. Hence why when Sarah wanted her gone, God told him to follow what your wife says. And he banished Hagar and the child. So calling her a bottom bitch
A bottom is a
doesn't
bottom.
make sense.
What were the name of the children? By the way, wait. I want to ask her this. What were the name of the children again? Because I forget my Bible stuff. The name of the children of the Hagar and the name of the child of Sarah. You know the names?
Hagar and Isaac.
Okay, so Isaac and what's the other one?
Ooh, why you pop quizzing me?
I have to ask because I don't know the names.
Was it Jacob?
To know the name.
I'm trying to. I'm
and if it is Jacob, Jacob became Israel. That's all. I just want to say that. That's okay. Cool. Now we understand. All right.
But hey, look.
But back to the topic.
In my humble opinion, a religion or a religious type conversation. Am I misunderstanding that, or we're not in a religious?
No, it wasn't.
No. I just thought that y'all brought that up to like as analogies or context to demonstrate what you were talking about in regards to compensation. I didn't think that, I don't think there's any pimps or holy folks up here. Like, I don't think that's happening.
Hey, once again, no, we pimp, but I know policies and procedures.
Yeah, they say Ishmael was the side baby, Isaac was the promise.
Yeah.
And we're fighting today, and that problem in the promised land is still going on today because of those two deviations. Oh, give me a second here.
But once again, this is not a stream about the Bible, is it?
No.
That's why I was
we just went down a rabbit hole of compensation. That's all. That's all that was.
I'll be the last person to go on a Bible conversation. I have not been to church in years.
I'll end this motherfucker right now. We're not doing that.
We can skip over it. It was just the analogy was funny. That's it.
Okay.
All right, let's go to a bottom bitch.
Yeah.
So
can somebody give us a definition of a bottom bitch?
Well, a bottom bitch is that one who puts in that work to gain the main man's graciousness. He entrusts his dealings with her and to go out and handle the business, whether he has other associates or just no.
Hey, where does a pimp rank on the unfreedom scale?
He's the king.
Is that freedom meaning when you get married? SHAKA-NEU-LU. Is that freedom meaning when you decide to get married to a woman, you've given up your freedom as a man? Do I have that? Is that correct?
No.
Okay, what is the definition of unfreedom?
What do you think the definition of unfreedom is?
My definition is when you get married, you give up your freedom as a man.
Then that's the definition.
Okay, fair enough.
Hey,
Free is working, man. I'm answering questions with questions. It's working.
Yeah. There we go.
I want to be clear. I am not a pimp, man. Okay. I'm not a pimp.
You have to get rid of your unpimpish ways.
Hang on. I'm sorry. I'm confusing myself. Unfreedom. Freedom, you're free. Unfreedom means the opposite of freedom. I'm having a hard time with this one, guys. So unfreedom. Freedom means free. Freedom. Free of the dome. Freedom. Then to be unfree is to be in prison. Because you don't have freedom. So when you get married as a man, yeah, I got the right definition. I got the right definition. I just
That's
want
what
to
I
check
said.
myself. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Black Savant, man. Hey, look, man. It is not gold pimp, brother.
It's not gold pimp.
Hey,
I
once you use the
would think
term,
that-
I mean, come on.
Gold professor, brother. It's gold professor, not not gold pimp. Yeah. Even though I may come across with those type of energies here and there, Sugar Free say I read the book. I didn't write it. I read the book.
I wrote it. But thanks for reading it.
I think I would say, like, in reality, pimps have a weird kind of paradox of unfreedom, because your whole economy is based off of like women's work, women's labor, and if they leave, then you have no work.
Yeah, you have.
You know what a pimp is? You know what a pimp is, bro?
A
pimp is a married man. He's doing the same shit as a married man would do. He's providing.
Right.
He's protecting. He's doing all that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
they're kind of they're perceived as being free, but I think a lot of them are simps. I think there's a fine line between pimping and simping, because you're still your whole identity is wrapped up in bitches. Like,
and the pimp usually marries his bottom bitch. Hey, wait. A pimp usually ends up marrying his bottom bitch. By the way, if I've heard correct. But I want to ask you guys a serious question. All of us are gonna get old, okay? When you get old as a man, who's gonna be there to take care of you? Because my father, I'm gonna qualify this. No. Let me qualify this. My father right now is very old, okay, and he's very sick, and in the hospital right now, my stepmom, because he married again and she was barren, she couldn't give him any more children, but he already had me and my brother, so he was good. He's like, oh, you know what? I'm good. This is my second marriage. I don't need children. But this woman, it was a family marriage, so she can't go nowhere. She cannot go anywhere. But the point is, he's in the hospital and she's there 24/7 by his side, doing everything she can to take care of her man. And so when you get old as a man, just think about it. How you're gonna have bad knees, you're gonna have bad back, and then there's gonna be somebody there that's a little bit younger than you, a little bit healthier than you, because she didn't have to work as hard as you. That's gonna be there for you. That's what qualifies a marriage. So all these guys, you're gonna die alone, man, and I don't know if that's a good thing to do. So this is where I qualify marriage.
If I'll give you this before I get off right quick, because I do have to get off. Listen, I have coworkers that died alone in the house by themselves. They wasn't found for days. They know the risk. When you decide to do MGTOW, however you want to do it, if you want to be by yourself, if you want that freedom that you say you want, there's stuff you're going to have to sacrifice in that sense. And one of those is, somebody ain't coming to be with you and you get sick.
Well, my coworker said it's a life choice, not a lifestyle.
Right. It's a choice. Now, what are you willing to give up for that? Like, listen, right now, I'm not married. I don't have kids. And I'm not as connected as my family as I was when I was younger. So if I pass away, they might not find me for a couple of days until the job find out, hey, he's not at work. They're going to find me.
They're going to fire you.
No, they're going to find me, and then whatever the state do, it is what it is.
Wait, so you guys worried about
you're going to have to accept that if you want to be in a marriage, there's certain things that comes with that. There's something if you're that worried about, hey, what's going to happen to me when I get old? Well, sir, if you want to live a certain lifestyle, especially MGTOW, you can't be afraid of that. It's just like my friend was trying to get me to get with the Bible, and I told him straight up. I said, I'm not coming into no lifestyle religion out of fear. I'm coming with it with understanding. And I understand that, hey, if I'm going to be by myself, I gotta handle everything by myself. I gotta handle my bills. I gotta handle my own health by myself. And if you can't do that, then me, honestly, you're not free. You're still gonna be a slave. But now you're a slave to that woman, and you're hoping that she gonna stay. You hoping that she stay with you. But guess what? I know dudes and that in the nursing home, nobody came to see him.
Yeah, nursing home.
So,
That's where you end up if you're alone. Yep, that's where you'll end up.
I mean, you kind
so
of
you,
all over
I
the
mean, you
place.
just gotta accept it. But anyway, let me get off here. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you, Gopi.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That
sir.
was a good conversation, man. Thank you.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate
Peace,
it.
bro.
Indeed,
All
I.
right.
Peace. Yeah. Hey, final thoughts, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Final thoughts, bro.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead, Gopi. You got it.
Oh, you
Well,
cut the phone out, man.
my final thoughts is that we all have these conversations, and we continue to build, man. And men especially, that brother spoke to, because he's kind of all over the place. But what I will say is this: men in general have to do things by themselves. It's no guarantee you're going to have a wife or a girlfriend or anything like that, but there's a guarantee that when you're in this world, you're going to have to walk in this world in certain ways and certain paths every day of your life. You're going to have to walk that. You're going to have to grab your dick and walk that off top, whether you're with somebody or not. And that's the reality. And, men in general, grow to a certain age and end up by themselves, and that we are accepting of that. Men are accepting of that. We can't base our lives on who was with us or not, because we're going to have to walk that gauntlet every day. We're the construction workers. I use that analogy all the time. Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, as well as financially. We're going to have to move a certain way. So, we can't necessarily rely on who's going to be with us or not. All we can rely on is what we are doing and who's going to rock with us. That's why I keep saying, rock with who rocks with you. Save your sanity, brother, man. Save your sanity. And I'll leave it at that.
Peace, Gopi. Peace, man.
Peace.
Vision, what you got on it, bro? Final thoughts.
All right. I came in when something struck a chord with me when SHAKA-NEU-LU spoke about his father. And so, in this space, or in a community, it's always about single mothers, and the fathers are never spoken about. And so you never really hear about people that have good relationships with their fathers. And I don't think this panel today, I think we're all men here that were raised by strong men who are our fathers. And so we have to always remember that fathers are very important. And fathers are like guideposts for children, and they have to be part of the relationship. Now, I'm still kind of caught between, because in today's society, a lot of women are not really worth the time. That's my own opinion. I was talking to this one girl, and just not too long ago, and she told me she was a pansexual. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I was like, oh, wow, right? That's a whole other conversation that I don't want to start. So I just want to say fathers are very important, and that struck a chord with me because right now my father is very sick, and I was given some bad news by the doctors, and we didn't say anything to him. We've kept it away from him. And so I'm just having a hard time, and I just go and see him whenever I can. So I say, if you guys got good relationship with your fathers and they're still around, honor your fathers, man. Go say hello to them, say what's up to them. Because it wasn't as important as your mother is, your father is also very important, because without him, you would not exist. And I think, is there anything else I want to add to that? No, that's all I got right now. Just and shout out to the nation of gods on earth, because they always speak about father-in-law. Father-in-law is a very important feature in that society. But I can't speak too much on it because I don't know the history. But father-in-law, is a very important. So again, a father, the God, the Father in the Bible, in Islam, father. So fatherhood is very important in all Abrahamic religions as well. Abraham was a father. Moses was a father. Okay? All right, I'm done.
Hey, peace, bro. Nick, can you hear us, Nick?
I can hear y'all, but I don't think you can hear me.
No, we can hear you, bro. You're coming in clear, man. I ain't finna end the stream. You gonna come up, man? What's good with you, bro? I give you a couple minutes. What you got on it, man? What's up?
You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Because I'm looking at StreamYard and it's not sure. What's up, Shaka?
How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, me and him be having some engaging conversations. I be learning shit from Shaka. But
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Hey, I ain't gonna be long because I know y'all want to get out of here. Look, we all know I'm gonna say the same shit everybody else has said. It ain't for everybody. What's for one person ain't for everybody. This guy wants a sports car. This guy needs a pickup truck. You know, if you need to move furniture, why you buy a Corvette? You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. And on the child thing, I get it. I never experienced that, but I get it. You know, we chose each other, but I wanted children. That was part of the deal. If I can't get the children, people, you breaking the deal. Technically, no, because that was part of the original deal. You see what I'm saying? So I feel, you know, I gotta break this deal and go make another deal somewhere else. Now, if I didn't want children and she can't have the children, what's the problem? But I get it. But everything's a transfer, and I'll say this part here. All right, Lou, you married, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a light bill?
I do.
You have a phone bill?
I do.
You eat food?
I do.
Okay. I'm just assuming. I ain't want to assume because you know I know you high speed, low drag. So
I'll be chilling, you know.
Yeah, you chilling. You know, man, I can feel that 10-degree drop when you within a 2-mile radius of Texas. So
right.
So the way I see it with stuff, where's the big burden? I say the same thing about the chicks that say that they ain't gonna, I ain't cooking for no man. What lady, do you eat? And she like, yeah. So what's the problem? You see what I'm saying? Lady, do you clean your house?
You already do it. Yeah.
You're already, I'm not doing much of anything different. And I've been married a long time. You got good, you got bad. My kids are grown and gone. One married. They went to school and all kind of other shit. You know?
Right.
But,
and you know what I'll tell you, Nick?
What's that?
I seen a bigger change. When we got married, very little change. The change didn't come until we had kids. Once the kid comes, that's when everything changes.
Yes. Cause we got married, nothing changed because her and I, we always driving this. I'm driving this. She driving that. I'm in the Army. We were already boyfriend, girlfriend. We didn't, there was nothing new to learn. And you know what I mean on the new to learn shit. Yeah. I ain't got to get grimy. Y'all get it.
Yeah.
So, you know, so there was nothing new. You know, I mean, I know your parents, you know my parents. I know where you from, you know where I'm from. We knew all that before we got married. But then kids come, oh shit.
You know? Right. And then the secondary thing that changes is when, you know, either of our parents passes during those periods.
But
you know,
we were both raised. I was raised by mom and dad. She was raised by mom and dad. Okay. So we both have that thing. I want children. I ain't gonna be no baby daddy. She didn't have children before we got married. I didn't have children before we got married. I'm not gonna be in this baby daddy shit. I'm sorry, I'm just not. Okay, because baby daddy shit, you paying. Lou, you got a car, but you only get to see it once or twice a month, but you still got to pay the note on it. Now you ain't paying all the gas, but you know, but the car need an extra set of tires on top. It need a set of tires on top of what you already paying. You need to give me some money for tires too. If I'm gonna pay for the car, I'm gonna have the car.
Correct.
That motherfucker, excuse me, that mofo gonna be in my driveway or in my garage if I'm paying for it. I ain't paying for nothing. I ain't gonna sign up to pay for something You know what I'm saying? And I don't get the
Right.
I don't get to keep it. The
No,
flip
that's a
is
fact.
that.
That's a fact.
And the thing is, I'm a man. I want my progeny. I want my life to precede me. I buried my father. It was painful. I was active duty. Had to go see him. Knew he was sick, but it was Cold War Germany. Eastern is still East and West Germany. I'm 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment. I'm actually on the border patrol. That's why when people talk now to me about border patrol, I just look at them funny. They have no fucking idea. But and I didn't make it back. He was gone. Because you just can't leave the border, So I didn't want to be a childless man. I want to have my own kids and rear my kids. I don't want to take care and rear some other man's kids. I ain't saying that's bad. It's just not for me. I want to rear my kids. And whether they meet the standards of the rest of the effing world, guess what? They're my kids. They have my name. They have my blood. So and guess what? Everything dies. No one is getting, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, black, white, Asian, whatever. Nobody's getting out of this game alive. But the thing is, I'm passing on my DNA, my progeny. So it'll still be here. I still remember, and I'm done with this. My granddaddy decided, World War II vet, field artilleryman, and him and my dad was planting a tree. Vietnam vet, 2 tours, field artillery, and here I am standing here watching. I'm just a kid. Why is granddaddy planting this tree with my daddy? He's 75 years old. He ain't gonna get to see it grow. Guess who got to pick peaches off of that tree? I did.
There you go.
I did. Now, granted, it was 20 some odd years, almost 30 some years later, but I did. And at that time, that tree is looking at me saying, do you understand now? I got it. I'm good. Y'all be good and be safe. Thanks for having me up, bro.
Hey, appreciate it, Nick. Always come by,
Peace
bro.
out.
Yes, sir. Y'all be good.
Peace. Hey, man, our first one, bro. We got to do
Yes,
this
sir.
often. Most definitely.
Yes, sir.
Man. That was interesting. Very interesting discussion.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
look, man, I know where they go. I know where they end up. And sometimes you have to reel the shit back in.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, man.
because some
Shout out to
people
Nick
come
for the
in.
service, bro.
Some people gonna come in the middle, and then when they come up, then they give a whole different thing when they come up.
Right.
I mean, not to say that it's unimportant all the time.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It gets derailed sometimes.
Yeah, it's okay. We reeled it back in. I was trying to see where it was going because it just kind of lost me with the compensation. So because I don't look at, I'm like further ahead, you know what I'm saying, in the relationship thing. So I don't look at it like that. But I was trying to see where it was going, but we got to a good spot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vision for holding it down too. I thought he was gonna go somewhere else with it too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But man, any final thoughts, man? We good? What's up, man?
I mean, you got to make your own decisions, man.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, I'm glad to be part of the fucking minority because I think that I can think for myself. I mean, yeah, sometimes, you take advice from other people, whatever, get their perspective. Because, that's the part about the angles. In a complete circle is 360 degrees. So you're going to have 360 different angles to come at shit. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to complete your own cipher.
Correct. Nah, I agree, man. And to a certain degree, I guess based on what I'm hearing, I haven't actually looked it up, but I would be even the marriage that I have is in the minority because you see what I'm saying? So, because of the way that it's structured. And I was I went through my whole like my mid 20s, from my mid 20s to like my early 30s. It was like, when you gonna get married? When you gonna get married? I didn't want to get married. I had no desire to get married. It wasn't until like recently, I say about probably 3 or 4 years ago, that I actually wanted to get married. And the person I was with, it made sense. It made sense with our families, their families. We all got together, and it made sense. And so I didn't realize until I got on the internet with different people that was actually like a rare thing. I didn't know that was I I thought that was a majority thing. Like that's how majority
Right.
of them are, but apparently, it's not.
Well, it
Um,
was. Well, it's like when I gave a breakdown a little bit of about 3 or 4 reasons I was on the beta male police panel. I said
mhm,
most people are gonna get married because of society. That's
right.
one. They're afraid to lose the pussy, which is two. She got pregnant, which is three.
Uh-huh.
And then the pressure of the parents from either side.
Correct.
You know, I mean, if that's what you want, that's what you want. If you don't, you don't. And that's what Gabe was alluding to. And nobody's saying anything different than what he commented in the chat. Was like, yo, I'm not telling you. I'm saying I'm anti-marriage, especially with the contract type shit. But
Mhm.
I'll tell a motherfucker don't get married. Personally, all that real man shit, a real man pussy. You know who says that? Bitches say that shit.
Right.
The real man gonna put it on paper. No, that's not what a real man does. Real man gonna think about that shit. But according to these guys, they never read the fine print. So hey, whatever, real man.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. But yeah, I'm finna get up out of here, man. Shout out to you, new. Shout out to those on in the chat and on the panel, man. We gonna holler at y'all later.
Hey, we put me on
Peace.
the big screen.
On the big screen? Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
because I'm out like this. I'm go.